Good morning. Oh, I know what I forgot to do. There's always something. Sorry about whispering in your ear there. Voice is a bit hoarse. Was at work yesterday, so that's the usual effect of it. Alright, so I'm just cleaning my glasses. I knew there was something. I got everything ready on a little bit earlier today because, as has been the past few weeks, when Lisa's working, I'll start a bit earlier and take her into work. Now let me just clean my glasses so I can actually see. And then I'll be with you. So the map we're playing still is Foothold Syria, which is the updated version, not the original version. That's better, I can see now. So over the past few weeks, when I say weeks, it's mostly the weekend, but a few people play during the day. We've gone round and I forgot the name of this place now. For God's sake, I was just about to say it. Anyway, we've gone round there, Cyprus, then done that. Went over to Incirlik and worked our way down the map last week. We took Palmyra and then pushed over to Tyres, and that's where we are at the moment. So we've got this place, Shayrat. We've got SA-15s, few tanks, SA-8s, few, TOS things, and then we're just basically pushing our way down. It's a bit of a zigzag, and that's it. However, we've also got Christmas coming up. So one of the things we used to do at Christmas is a World War II thing. So we may switch maps over the Christmas period and make it a World War II thing. Right, so I think I might be able to spawn at Tyres. Let's go and have a look. It's not too far away. All of these are relatively close. Yeah, it's only 33 miles. Hey, Pop. Good morning, matey. Seem to have a hill there. Got some sort of ridge down here. Let's have a look at the range. Let's change it to kilometres. Centre of there, 14.
Morning, Charlie. Morning.
Hello, Stu. Okay, so about 9 clicks out. I'm not sure what this is. It looks like it's just little furrows in the sand. Is that a song, Furrows in the Sand? I don't think it is it? Anyway. Pardon? Oh, right, you've put a drone over there, yeah? Okay, no worries. Yeah, I'm just having a look at the spectator mode and see what's around. So it's just a zigzag down the coast, really. And they're not particularly big places, are they? Or it doesn't seem to be. Right, I'm wondering whether I can get any mortars in. But let's have a look. Let's see what we can actually do today. Last week I think I finished off and I was using the Apache. And let's see what we've got available. So there is something at Tyres. Don't think it's an airbase, or is it? Is this Tyres? Can't tell. Let's jump into Old Faithful and go and take something over that's going to help. It's probably the best way. In my computer warming up. Oh, it is an airbase at Tyres. Didn't realise. Okay, might be able to do a few more things after then. Okay, so I'm in the Chinook. And what we'll do is go and take something over. So looking at the map then, I didn't realise that. I saw the dotted line, but obviously I was this far out and I thought it was just a little place. So we've got to bomb the runway. That might be something I can do. Especially as we've got this, I could take off, go around, get some height. Bomb the runway. It'll take me too long. It's alright, it's just that it would be, I would use the A10 and a couple of 2,000 pounders. The trouble is with that is I would explain it all, and by the time I got there it would be like end of the stream anyway, you know what I mean. So I'll go over here and I'll take something over. I'll start off with my usual and try and drop something in the middle, although to be fair, if I look here, hip up, we should see that we've got enough cover here anyway, I think. So this base is well within this base here. So if planes do come over, I might do a bit of an overlap and push something just out here and that way round. They're not even going to get that close. Might be a thing to do, eh? Okay, so let's jump into this. Get it started. It's not finished yet, so the startup routine is really a bit of a cut down one. Put the battery on. APU, does anyone remember 5 and 2 or 2 and 5? It's probably 5 and 2, so I'm going to move it to run for 5 and then start for 2 and then wait, and we should see the APU light come on. Now let's move it to the run position. Count about 5 seconds or round about there if anyone's actually counting, and then move it down for 2 and then let go. Listen. Okay, we can hear something starting up, and then the APU light will come on in 2 ticks. Okay, that makes a change, doesn't it? Okay, right, so we're going to put the APU Jenny on. We're going to look up at the top console, switch on the crossfeed, put on the aft and the forward fuel flow for the left engine. We're going to move this down onto ground there. Okay, if we look down here, we've got these, I don't know what they're called in this one, I'm still going to call them MFCDs, which is multifunctional colour displays. These are the numbers I'll be particularly looking at, NG1 and 2. And I'm going to press and hold the starter over to the 1 position, which is down here, until NG1 hits 12. Okay, and then wait, and then this thing will, you'll see the engine starting, we'll hear them, and the rotor starts turning. Anyway, good morning. Anyone got anything exciting planned? We're soon into December. It's not that far away, is it? See how much of this we can get done. I think the server crashed. When did the server go down, Stu? Do you know? Oh, right, that's okay. Because when I come on, I always check and I could see it was down, and I was like, because I'm pretty sure it times out with the login after a certain period, but I don't know what that is. I could have done, yeah. Which is why I keep catching it probably. Okay. Right, okay, so that's the first engine. You'll see it'll carry on until it's up to 63, which is here. So we're going to do the same for the second engine. So we look up and we move the aft fuel, forward fuel. We roll this lever down to ground. There's a sail on at the moment, by the way, still. And we're going to press this to number 2. And we're going to keep an eye on NG when it's 12. It's over on the right. NG for number 2 there. We let go and we wait for the second engine. There are some good deals, and if anyone's got any queries about excuse me, mate. If anyone's got any queries about if what's worth getting, I can answer on some things. I would definitely say get a Huey. If you've got a little sort of Firkling for helicopters, but you're not quite sure, always start with a Huey. Because once you learn and you get to grips with that, it makes it so much easier for everything else, okay? Right, so this should be up to speed now. Okay, so just 1 minute. It's alright, we had the heating on for an hour this morning and it gets a bit warm for me. Makes me cough, like everything else makes me cough. Okay, so now I'm going to scroll my mouse wheel and move these levers down to flight. That will increase the RPM and the rotor speed. You can hear now the familiar sort of thwacky, slappy sound of the Chinook. Right, so we'll carry on with the rest of the startup, and we're going to put the generators on, generator 1, generator 2. Now, it's alright, this is a slightly different cough, I can tell as well. So basically you must remember to put those on before you switch the APU off. I know it's obvious, you'll be surprised how many times you forget it. So I'm going to switch the APU off, and I'm going to switch the APU starter off. I'm also going to switch on the backup power. I'm going to go up and switch off the crossfeed, close it, and then we're going to concentrate down here. So all those caution summaries have gone. It's telling us we've got these modes available, and the parking brake is on. And if we look down here by the left knee, we'll hit the power button and we can see the eggy. So we need to hit it twice, and we enable the two eggies, eggy 1, eggy 2, and the radar warning. And now you can hear. Okay, you can hear all the warnings. Looking a little bit further down the dash, here we've got the cyclic trim, and what we're going to do here is leave that exactly as it is, but enable both. And what that excuse me, what that will do is enable the forward and aft, I believe, and it will do a lot of auto trimming to some extent. And what it does is when you turn, and once you go in a certain speed, right, it all should fly flat, and when you turn it will make sure that the turns are coordinated without you having to do any rudder input. So a coordinated turn is usually, I'm not sure where it is, there it is I think. You see this ball which sits in this gauge, so this is like a, well, this is a slip indicator. So if you turn without any rudder input, this ball will move away, and that means instead of turning nice and clean and going in the direction you think, you'll find you'll be sliding through the air rather than making a proper turn. So you would normally, in planes and helicopters, you would add a little bit of rudder and try and keep this ball in the middle. However, this helicopter will keep that ball in the middle itself when this is enabled. Okay, so you don't need any additional rudder input. The other button down here is arm your countermeasures and bypass. Now I can never remember what the countermeasures button is in this. I don't fly it often enough. There's probably been some updates that I don't know. So if you don't know what a button is that you've got set, all you've got to do is go to the controls, select anywhere, and when you press the button it will jump to a control. Hey Chris. Okay, you've got your eye on the MiG-29. What you've got to consider is, if that's what you want, then get it. Is it the first thing to jump in? I don't know. I've bought the MiG-29 and I've just parked it, so to speak, until it's properly finished, because early access things, there's always things missing a little bit. If you want something that's going to give you good all-round performance in air-to-air, air-to-ground and carriers, which is obviously user-friendly, then I would initially start with the F-18. The F-18 will do all of those roles. Startup is nice and easy. The way that you land and you're using things like on speed is a little bit different, but it's not out of the realms. And I would initially, if that's your first entry into the game, start with an F-18. That will give you all features of it basically. As I said, air to ground, air to air and aircraft carrier. It will also, or should open up a discount for the advanced aircraft carrier, and then you can do carrier landings, everything else. Okay, then maybe look at the MiG-29, but you'll find you'll start to overlap roles. Like the F-16 is really good as well, but right, it hasn't got the carrier ability. The A-10C is absolutely brilliant, but it's not a fast mover. It's not geared up for air to air, but it is excellent with air to ground. It's incredibly slow, but you can loiter and stay in the air for God knows how long you want. Whether there's any more updates to that or not, I don't know, but it depends what you want. If you've got a preference, I know some people come in having a favourite plane that they've looked at since they were young, then you go with that, because that's going to scratch that itch. But first off, if you hadn't got any idea, I'd say the F-18. If you really have a preference for the MiG-29, which has only just come out, if it's out, I think it's out, then go with that by all means. But if you're completely new to DCS, I think the F-18 will get you a little bit better in. I'm not sure of the prices during this holiday discount. I know some of them sometimes are up to 50%. I mean, even the World War II planes, which we'll be doing some of that soon, are really good. Have you ever flown DCS at all, Chris? Welcome to the channel as well, by the way. Do apologise. Yeah, this is exactly what I was going to say, right? Right, okay. Yeah, the Flaming Cliff stuff, unfortunately, I find... Just one moment. Yeah. Okay, so they're 40% off. Thanks, pup. Okay. Okay, so the F-18 and the Super Carrier is 40% off in the sale at the moment. Now, what I was about to say, hey CJ, what I was about to say to you is the trouble is with the Flaming Cliffs, it really is a port over. I think they've updated some of the models, but you can't click in the cockpit. I mean, you can see the controls in front of me, right? And when you look at this, it's absolutely daunting. But can you see the ones I've actually set? Now, admittedly, with this helicopter, a lot of things aren't set up yet. But when you look at stuff like this, why on earth would you assign these right to controls? Exactly. And not only that, the flight model isn't the same. So the way it works is, let's say, a little bit more forgiving. It's not as realistic. So you'll find there's quite a big change. And I would err on the side of the F18, as Pups just said. The F18 and the Super Carrier, which is what I referenced, was 40% off. I'm not sure on the price of the MiG, it's brand new, so it's not going to be much cheaper. But just bear in mind, with DCS, there are always a minimum of 4 sales, and then they have sales in between. So for instance, they got Thanksgiving, they'll probably have a winter or Christmas, they'll probably have a Lunar New Year, they'll have the first sign of spring, someone's remembered to shut the door sale, and on it goes. There you go, thanks Sigsy. So that's the one I would always recommend to somebody new. It's a nice easy startup, and once you've started it up and flown it around a bit, you start getting a little bit more in depth. If you somebody type !Chucks, CHUCKS, he writes a series of guides on the various aircraft, which gives you images. It's a good all-round plane, and it's not overcomplicated to start up, to be honest. With reference to trials, you can, as long as you download your account, right, from DCS and not from Steam, if you go onto your account online, onto your profile, when you get to that page, on the left hand side is a drop down, and it will show you what licenses you own. If you click the little drop down arrow, it will show you the trial licenses for the vast majority of planes and maps. What that means is you can download a module, right? Not necessarily 100%, but most of them. You can download a module, try it for 2 weeks, and it will work fine for 2 weeks. And when you finish that, download a different module, try that for 2 weeks. Hey Spatey, when you try a map, you can download a map to see whether it's something you like, and so on. And after 6 months of trying all these different things, you can do it all over again. So in theory, you could fly for a year, you'd get a month out of everything, and you could just basically go around, and then eventually it would stop. You used to get a discount on the first planes, but you don't get that anymore. But it's worth looking at, and it gives you a good chance to try it out, make sure your machine's capable. Obviously, you can't fly this with mouse and keyboard, excuse me. You can't fly this with mouse and keyboard. Excuse me. You can't, that's me coughing. You can't fly this with mouse and keyboard. Although you might be able to fly it with your mouth, I don't know. Controllers, you can get away with some of the simplistic stuff, but it's far better to have the cheapest ass joystick you can find that has got a twist grip, forward, back, left, right, and maybe a button on the top. The way DCS works, I'm in the controllers page now. These are my controllers across there. If we go to modifiers, what this means is that you can use like left alt, and say you've got a hat. If you put a left alt key in front of it, you can use that hat for another set of functions. If you use left control, you can use it for another set of functions. And if you look here, all these modifiers allow you to use one hat for 9 different things. You've just got to remember what those 9 different things are. Okay, you can even do what we call a switch, and you can assign a key or a button or something as a switch. My hostess doesn't know. I have rudder pedals. When I started off originally with... Oh right, that's fine then. That's fine. Okay. Okay, do you have pedals as well? My specific, somebody's asking, no, my one doesn't have twist grip. I use pedals. When I started, I used a really cheap, alien-looking joystick, and I used to fly a lot of IL-2. Then when I moved over to DCS, way back, when DCS first came out, when the Shark was a standalone game and the A10C was a standalone game, I'd got an X52, and that worked okay up to a point. There was a few issues with the X52, and then I moved on to the Warthog and had some cheap ass pedals, and eventually I got some better ones. My other half, she flies, and she uses, or she did use, a T16000, and she has a Thrustmaster throttle, and she flies helicopters fine. And if I've gone to hers to show her something, I can fly that nearly as well as I can without pedals. It's all about placement. But anyway, back to there. You can make any joystick work for you by utilising the modifiers and the switches. So you don't have to spend a bucket load of money when you first start, if that makes sense. I think, did I answer everything there, Chris? I mean, I've covered other areas. Obviously, it doesn't strictly apply to you, but it sort of covers it all for other people. I had a VR headset when I first started. I don't use one anymore. Why don't I use one? Not because VR isn't absolutely brilliant and is such a good immersion. Yeah, you're welcome, matey. No worries at all. And if you need any help, just come back, once you've got your plane. There's plenty of people who fly this stuff. Thank you. Thanks for the follow. So, I actually use a head tracking, and I used to have Track IR, which is obviously a bit of a de facto, although there's a lot of variations now. And I found something online, which I could only get from eBay from China, and it seemed a bit dodgy, and I bought it for the other half, and it's called AIM XYZ, and you can see I can look around everywhere. I don't think I've got the stability of the Track IR, but I also utilise the pause key so that when I'm trying to look at things, my head's not moving much. And I think I could probably, if I could be bothered, move this out with curves. Okay, it's already quite stable, as you can see, and it's got full movement, in, out, roll, up and down, side to side. Look, it's got everything there. But I utilise it with a little joystick under my thumb as well. And I think when I bought this, I think it was just over £100. It doesn't fit anything on my head. I don't need to wear headphones, and I never wear headphones when I'm flying. I've got a little camera sitting on top of my monitor, and the interface is very similar to Track IR. How is it better? I'm streaming. It's not better than VR. VR is better than all of it, and a good VR set is absolutely amazing. Even the low-end headset, it just gives you a completely different dynamic. Most of the people I'm flying with are flying in VR, some really high-end ones. But if I said to you, I've got 1, 2, 3 screens doing different things. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's have a look. Sorry, what was that? That Meta 3. I told you I think I smashed. Yeah, I can understand it. Hey, Solo. So, I have got 11 applications running, right? Yeah. Well, it is, and some of the VR things allow pass-through to varying degrees. Ideally, if you're going to use VR, you want a really good HOTAS, right? And if you really want to, right, where you've got those extra key pushes that you can't touch, why don't you use VAC? So VAC is a nice piece of software that you can use your speech and you decide what your word is to actually control the function. Now, there is a VAC for DCS, which is more to do with radios and things and stuff and management of AI, but there's nothing to stop you getting hold of VAC. And if you want to if you don't want to bind your landing gear to your stick, if you don't want to, what I would suggest is that you can set VAC, right? It's really cheap. So that you press a button when you want it to listen to you, because if it listens to you all the time, you'll say something in your speech and it'll do something that you don't expect. Yeah, that's fine. So at the moment I don't use VR, but that's because I'm streaming. I'm keeping my eye on so many different things. And I'm streaming on YouTube as well in 4K, so I have another monitor over there that's telling me what the signal is like, how many, what the data output is, if there's any drop frames, and you try keeping track of all of this when you're in VR. You can't do it. The other thing is with VR is if you watch somebody with VR, as long as they are cognizant of how you guys see the stream, it can get a little bit like this. I'll show you what I mean. Right, now, when you're looking at it from my point of view, it's not so bad. When somebody's in VR, it's reminiscent of old-fashioned days when people used to use cine cameras, and instead of panning nice and slow and then stopping and then picking up and cutting and that, they used to swing the camera from side to side all over the place to whatever they saw, and it will make you feel sick if you're not careful. Right? Now, I did try and stream in VR, and I put some of the screens up here. Right? So when I look up, I could see, right, the windows from the applications that I was using. Right? And I'd have to pause the game, pause my screen so you guys look there, and then I'd be able to look up. Do you know what I mean? And it just didn't work, and it wasn't good enough. And now I can stream in 4K 60 FPS as well, and it doesn't drop a frame. I'd rather go for the quality, and if I want to go VR I would do it, but I wouldn't stream it, if that makes sense. Right, I need to cough, I do apologise. Yeah, I looked at those originally. There was an outfit in New Zealand that did them. It was a 180 screen, and I looked at it and I was like, okay, you know what, $4,000 for a screen and having somewhere to put it, right? There's a better one than that. There's a Sphere. You can do, but there's limitations as well. I mean, one of the guys is using the Samsung big curved one, and I think he's running in 8K, and he plays in VR as well, and he's just got for the Crystal VR, and he says it's absolutely brilliant, but he's also got the big screen. There is oh look, that must be the direction. Oh no, that's ours, isn't it? There's another one, and I saw it and I thought that looks brilliant if ever I have enough money. It will cost you 100,000, and it will cost you 100,000 a year to keep it serviced. And it's no different to having one of the things that are in the arcades. So many years ago, I remember playing a game where you had, it could have been an F-18 on a carrier. Oh yeah, definitely. No, I usually raid to him if he's on. Yeah, he's really good, isn't he? And that looks brilliant. But there used to be an arcade game, a very basic playing game, and that used to rotate 360 in all directions, and the only way you knew you was upside down was because you could feel the blood pressure in your head, and that was just a screen. a screen in this spherical cage, and I thought, I bet it wouldn't take much to be able to modify it, and that was a long time ago, right? But there's a military version of it, where it's a VR headset and you're in a sphere and you'll go any direction. Okay, has anyone got any more questions? What I'm going to do, I'm in a Chinook and I'm actually just going to go and take a SAM site part way down towards the next site to give our guys more cover. Okay, so over the past few weekends we took Cyprus. So we started at a base in Cyprus and flew and worked our way around. Okay, we then went over to Incirlik and then we started working our way through the different enemy bases. So last week we were pushing Palmyra and also started to move over towards Tyres. So this week, we're doing Shayrat and possibly over here. So we're working our way through the missions, okay, picking up the bases, and then eventually we've finished. And we'll have to find another mission. However, I've also started to do a basic. Can you spectate it in terms of coming in? Yeah, of course you can come in. I would rather you can come in and come in via TeamSpeak so that we've got communication as well. But I don't have a problem with you looking. It's just that for the first time in years, about a month ago, somebody come on, and I don't mind anybody coming on, and just basically blew me up for the hell of it. And you just think, after all these years, so basically now the password changed, because I usually broadcast it and you guys are more than welcome to come on if you want to. But if you can come in via TeamSpeak, which is just voice control, that'll be good. I think soon, once I've tested it a bit, we'll put a very basic, it'll just be World War II PvP server up, and that's all it'll be. And then that'll be running, and then you can go on, it'll be no password, and you can basically just PvP each other. The World War II planes are absolutely brilliant, and even if you don't know how to fly one, it doesn't take you long to get used to it. And some of the footage you can get from it, and what I will try and do is get a few people streaming, and then we'll put all those together. And I could do with somebody, following some of the fights with a camera, and then we can stream that, and then people watching can choose whatever plane they want to watch, and also watch a view of the actual fighting. And I've done it before, and it works really, really well. So, I don't mind people coming in and using a camera, if that's what you wanted to do. Right, okay, so I might get going in a minute, but please, you got any questions, ask. And if someone's sitting there rolling their eyes because people are asked questions, well, this is what the stream's all about. It's trying to help people out. When I come in this morning, I checked 14 people watching DCS. There's about 24,000 followers or something stupid. 14 people. So I encourage people to stream it. Doesn't matter what. What colour are my eyes? Blue. Which means my descendants at some point moved through a particular town in, I think it was East Africa, which is where blue eyes come from. Anyway, so I'm going to go from here, from here, and I'm going to drop, hopefully, a sort of SAM site over here, which we've got cover over these two sites. We've got a shooting range from somewhere here by the looks of it. So I'm going to extend that by dropping something over here. That's the idea. I'm not the best streamer by any shot, to be fair. I try and help people out. And hey, pup. Thanks, pup. If I let me just press that. If you give me 2 seconds, look. See, you can see they're blue. You're not grey, and I am very old, yeah. Right, okay. So I'm going to open the back of this helicopter. Blue eyes, you're going to sing it. So the helicopter's open, and now what I'm going to do is use the F10 menu. With this particular mission, you've got CTLD. CTLD is Complete Transport Logistics something, I can't remember what the D stands for. And it was written by somebody a long time ago, and it did a really good job. And then the guy who's updated these missions, which were written by someone else, has added so much more to everything. Here else, is it Alfstar? It's quite difficult. Alfstar, maybe. I'm sorry, or Alfstar. It's quite difficult for me to read the red on black. Yeah, everyone's on Twitch, matey. So if you want to watch this on YouTube, that's fine. On the YouTube, it is 4K 60 FPS, so you'll see what I see. But everyone else is chatting on Twitch. So if you go to Mel12345 on Twitch, right, you can chat on there and you'll get a lot faster response. There's about a minute delay on YouTube because of the throughput that I'm broadcasting at. So we've got CTLD, and now we can actually manage crates. Now remember, this is a script. So I'm going to get crates, I'm going to get Sam, I'm going to get a Hawk sight. This is the weight that's added, okay? So get and load, right? Which is why I've opened my back door. Now bear in mind, it's a script, okay? Because it's a script, you're not going to see anything at this point. Now last week I was telling people that everything was hidden under the seats and in the overhead lockers, okay? However, the weight, and this is the clever thing, the weight of that has been added to the weight of the helicopter, okay? So the way this flies is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be really heavy. So I'm going to take this Hawk sight to a place, unload it and build it, and then we've got a Hawk sight, okay? But the weight of it is added, which gives you that feel of having a load on the helicopter. This helicopter's not finished yet, so there's quite a few bits missing. So I'm going to move this over to there, switch on the map, put the overlay on, and I can't read this, by the way. So when I'm sitting where I'm normally sitting, I just can't read stuff. And I wish there was a hood. There should be a hood eventually, but obviously it's not there yet. So it's not too difficult. It looks like I'm going to be flying about 270. So I'm just going to right click in the middle of there, move it over here. I only need to go about 32k. So I'm going to put a little circle there. And then this lot will detect stuff coming over, but can't fire till there. When I'm here, it will fire at stuff taking off from here a lot quicker. And hopefully this may get some cover. I'm just outside that circle, unfortunately, but we'll see how it goes. So I'm just going to put a little circle there for my own reference. Okay. And I'm going to fly about 270. If I look down here, I'm pointing at 264, so it's only slightly ahead. Right, it flies incredibly well. I'm just going to gently increase the collective. I've got no supplies, so it's going to moan like hell. And you see, it just takes off so smoothly. Okay. As you can see, it's just ridiculous. and I'm more or less going to fly in a straight line.
Get those supplies.
Yeah, I haven't got supplies. Stop going on. So we're flying on the Syria map. A Syria map you have to be careful with, because if you've got 32 gig of memory, that 32 gig is going to disappear in the Syria map. Okay, it is really heavy, and I'm trying to fly this a little bit steadier than normal, basically because now I've got all that weight on. Okay, the other thing with this helicopter, and from my helicopter flying, I'll call him a friend, he'll be honoured, I'm sure. He said it feels like it drops a little bit too quick to what he thinks it should be realistically, and I'll listen to him. I don't fly helicopters, but he's flown them for probably 20 years, so I'll take his word for it. So you do have to be careful when you're coming into land. It's faster than an Apache, and I'm just checking where I am. Not enough to see yet. It's faster than an Apache, so if you're flying escort with these, the pilot has to slow down. Hopefully no one's coming along the runway. Completely forgot about that. Sometimes I'm a little bit oblivious. If anyone's got any questions, please ask. You see the head tracking's quite stable, and you know, it just works. And I was supposed to give it to the other half to help her, but to be honest, my track IR broke, and I started using this, got used to it, and she's never had it. I'll have to buy her another one at some point. It's only been about 18 months now, but then she's been busy and she hasn't flown for a while. Also works in Star Trek. Oh yeah, she used to stream. She flies DCS, she flies Star Citizen, and she's got, as I said, Thrustmaster HOTAS, Thrustmaster throttle, and she's just bought, or maybe a couple of months ago, a better stick, a wing stick. But the problem is, there's supposed to be a twist grip adapter for it. See, the problem is with her, she's short, and I've got some old pedals she can use, but I'm not sure she can reach them. So she hasn't even flown. She's been on a computer on her day off, but she's been playing Assassin's Creed, and her work time now, she doesn't finish work till 8:10 at night, and it's just really weird. It's like my work time. So I only end up flying and playing games more in the weekend than during the week, because I end up doing 12 or 13 hour days. It's ridiculous. But yeah, she flies. She's a gamer. She's been a gamer for a long time. She used to stream, but she just feels, the way I stream is I always explain what I'm doing so people are aware, and she tries, but she doesn't have the knowledge of some of the things she's doing, and she feels that's what, and I said, you don't need to do that, just be yourself. She's naturally quite funny, but not necessarily intentionally so, but she's quite funny, she's quite watchable. Speaking of which, it's about time for a cup of tea, don't you think? I'll try. I don't know whether she's awake. Well, she's awake, but... Hey, Lisa! You're in the bath? Oh, didn't even notice. I didn't even hear the noises either. Usually when she's in the bath, you hear the noises like... Woo! You know, look, whales. I'm getting told off, by the way. I didn't know she was in the bath. I never heard. I tell you what, I'm that focused on this. My door's open, the bathroom is behind me across a very short landing, and I didn't even know she'd run the bath and was in the bath. So now I've got to wait for my cup of tea. I need an upgrade on the firmware, because I should have had a cup of tea before the bath, and then I wouldn't have been asking, would I? But no, she does fly, she does go. At one point, her computer was better than mine. Can you imagine? That's because she won it off me, or won a computer, because years ago. Exactly. That's exactly what you need. And the best bit is, at the moment, I'm flying a lot of helicopters. Again, just because of the missions we do. But usually, I'm quite a big A10 flyer. I've used to fly the F-18 a lot, the Harrier. But on some of these maps, they really lend themselves to logistics and various other helicopter roles, attack as well. Do you know what I mean? I've got to be careful, because if I go too high, I'm going to get shot down. I want to keep it low. Now the thing is, slowing this thing down isn't too difficult, but you have to be so careful, because just when you think you're okay and you go to land, it'll VRS and you could be feet off the floor. So you have to be careful. The other thing I've noticed is when you slow down, it has a tendency to want to go up in the air too much. So you suddenly pop up again if you're not careful. It's an absolutely brilliant map. But if you intend... I haven't been in one, I have seen one. One of my customers used to service these. So when the UK government sold off, or they privatised a lot of the military stuff, so there's a base down south that basically was army, and they serviced these helicopters. That's all they do. And it was one of my customers. And then when they got sold off, they literally put on civic clothes, and it was exactly the same. And I've been down there in their office, and while I'm in the office, one of these are just hovering right level with the office, not far away, and it makes the whole place vibrate. So I appreciate the size and everything else, but I haven't been in one. Anybody using the is it the Air Force cadets will go for a ride in one of these, and then usually the pilots will see how many of them they can make sick, and they keep a score, from what I'm told, in the officers' mess, how many cadets puked on their trip. It's a bit wicked, but you could imagine. If you've never used VR before in DCS, morning, trust me, when you get in to DCS and you're in a helicopter and you take off, say in a Huey for the first time, your stomach will feel like you've gone over a humpback bridge. If you don't know what a humpback bridge is, in the UK we have bridges over canals that are quite short and quite up and down, and when you go over them you get like a butterfly weird feeling in your stomach, yeah? And you get that feeling just from taking off in a helicopter in VR. It's unbelievable how that effect occurs, because I always thought it was balanced with the ears, you know, the way your fluid moves around the ears, and it's not. Yeah. Ah, right, okay. Yeah, I had another friend over there. He used to service Apaches, and even the Babby was over there as well, but he wasn't doing any of that. He was doing something else, but yeah, they are amazing bits of kit, and they're so powerful, and the weight that they can carry. So I'm slowing down now, but I'm also at the same time, surprisingly, increasing my collective, because there's a tendency normally you drop your collective. I need to go a little bit more. See that little ridge that I'll probably do. You drop your collective as you start to come down, but with this thing, once you start to slow down and it starts to go down, it goes down much faster than you want, and then it'll just drop and plop on the floor and wreck it. And then Disco Dave over there, he's a bit ignorant. He sits there, right, and if you damage your helicopter, he gets his decks out and then starts playing his decks. And if you don't know what I mean, when you see it, you'll realise what I mean. So imagine him sitting there with a pair of decks doing his DJ bit, and if I lose a bit of prop and it starts jiggling around a lot, which it can do, that's exactly what he does. That's actually quite good. That hill there looks like a good place just before it to drop these off, I think. So I have to be careful, because when it says it's going to build it, you have to move, otherwise it might try and build part of the SAM site in your helicopter. It doesn't care that you're there. Again, it's script based, therefore it just does it. We've got smoke over there, so I'm not too far from the enemy. But it would be good if it gives us some air cover, that's the main thing. I think probably around here, so I'll just slowly get down. So I'll get lower, getting into a hover. Not that high off the floor anyway, but as I said, it's amazing how this thing will drop. I'm not going to stop moving just yet. I'm just going to point my nose down. See it go. Right, you tell me. I don't usually explode like that. But how high was I off the floor? How smooth and gently was I going down? And it just goes plop. I didn't do that last week, but I did this week, so that wasn't good, was it? But I'm reliably told it's a little bit too fierce. And I thought I was slow enough. Stop laughing, you. Right. So I've explained everything. I'm going to have to go and do it now, aren't I? I'll go a little bit faster. I can't believe that happened. But as I said, it does happen. So I won't go and explain everything like I did before. What I'll do is just jump in and do it and get there. So if you've got any questions, please ask. And you've got to experience it to understand what happened there. It's just bizarre. Right, okay. If anyone wants me to explain what I'm doing, please ask. I don't mind repeating myself. It's all on stream anyway, both on YouTube and on here. Should see that light up in a minute, but I might have done it the wrong way around that time. I have a bad habit of doing that. Switch it off and do it again. There we go. So you have to hold it for 5 on there, 2 on there, and it sounded like it was coming on. We should get an APU. There you go. Right. Very easy startup. As I said, a lot of it isn't sorted yet. So I'm just putting the fuel flow on, move the lever down a little bit too far. There we go. Should go in there. It's really difficult to tell from this angle. That's all the way at the bottom, isn't it? Look. It does, but unfortunately, the AI, right, bot that I have is otherwise engaged in some other process. What have I done? Yeah, that's right. Okay, I haven't put the APU on yet. So again, we'll start the engine, make sure it goes up to 12. It does help. You can hear my voice is already hoarse. When I'm at work, it's such a long day that the next day I just sound knackered, like I am now, and I was really tired. So what do? They're going to make me do Monday, Tuesday at work, Wednesday working from home, Thursday, Friday at work, which I tried something before and I can't do it. It's like 2 13-hour days, including a 4 to 5 hour drive, and it's just too much. I'm an IT manager. Usually my whole career has been in IT from 1982. Various guises. This is just like me winding down this job, because I used to deal with disasters and I'd be off all over the country whenever there was an issue, making things work again, and it doesn't matter where. So that's how I know about where I was talking about with the Chinook. So if you're IT related, I'm an MCSC with security and a CCNP, so it covers servers and infrastructure and comms basically. So I used to at one point write and develop recovery plans for the hardware for companies, and when they have a disaster, sort of nursemaid it through, make sure everything comes back. And then I did consultancy, and I've done all sorts really. I've done programming as well, but I don't touch that as such. Database work, as I said. So what I used to be able to do is take somebody's hardware with whatever they've got on it, whether it's Microsoft Cluster or whatever, and then take their data, their backups, and make it work on completely different hardware, but not as a cluster. And it was, from the OS point of view, it worked exactly the same as before, but wasn't even on the same brand of kit. Nowadays it's a lot easier to do, especially where you've got virtualization coming in and you've got particular tools. But so I took my brain out, dropped it out, and just manage people and educate and stuff like that, which really I shouldn't really be there. But they closed the place that I was doing because I wanted to wind down, and they closed the place that was up the road. I used to be home at 5 o'clock every day, right, and I'd have all this time and it allowed me to do stuff. I've got all this computer equipment, all this streaming stuff, all this music and MIDI gear, all these instruments, and I'm too busy. It's ridiculous. However, they forced me into a position that I'll probably leave, and I might go and work at Waitrose. I want to go and work at Waitrose on the checkout, because then I can just wind down, do 24 hours, and then carry on doing what I want to do. Got all this video stuff as well and so on that I should be doing. But it's always like spending stupid hours at work. And it's only because it's like, it should be an hour and a half away, but it turns into 2 hours, and there's roadworks. So my driving's 5 hours, the work day's 8 hours, and it's ridiculous, especially when the weather's as bad as it is. It's a pain in the ass. And it's like such a waste of the time, and really I was only keeping my ears open to find out when this place around the corner is going to open up again, because I've set that up and I know how to do it, so it's a nice easy job close to home, if you get my gist. Oop, too far. You're right, cock. I didn't know you was in the bath, I do apologise. However, you should have made me a tea first. I'll get abused now. Right. roll these up. And then already rolled, that's that. Put these on first. Always remember that. The amount of times I've put them on after. Switch these off, and of course it just winds itself down. Right. And the other thing, sometimes it's good when you see people make mistakes, isn't it? Because it just shows that it's not as easy as sometimes it looks. I think sometimes when you get people watching lots of different streamers, and there's some very good streamers and some very skilled people out there, it makes it feel a little bit out of reach. And what I mean by that is people will look and go, I'm not going to be able to do that, it's too complicated, and that's it. Do you see what I mean? Whereas in reality, yeah, you need to spend a little bit of time. Is it too complicated? No, not at all. There's methods of teaching people and ways of getting that information in their head, and they don't even realise how you've done it. But you know, it's a variation of where am I going through this menu? Just 1 minute, I'm going to have to think. Manage crates, get crates, and website, getting low. It's a variation. Some people can read a book. I can, for instance. I can read a manual, it's not a problem. Some people have to be shown. Some people can watch and learn. Some people can, you know, you handhold. And there's lots of different ways. There's supposed to be about 4 ways. And if you do it right, you can pass on information and get people exchange that knowledge very, very easily. I mean, usually when I do like sort of one-to-one training on, say, helicopters, I'll start with a Huey, teach someone how to fly the Huey, some of the things I know about it, some of the things that we have to watch out for. And by the first time they ever jump in the helicopter, I try and do it so that people can actually sling load on their first ever sort of time flying it. And that's a bit of a record. I think I've only ever had one person who struggles with it a bit. Just one moment. Yeah, I do. Let me go and drop this off, right? And are we talking about any specific helicopter? I used to teach as well, but I teach people technology and IT and various things in my way of teaching. I try and make people think. I mean, all the guys that work now have gone through basic comms and infrastructure and how it works up all the way from the bottom, but I try and right, okay. So if you're just floating above the pad, it usually means that there could be no flyable aircraft, or that aircraft isn't on. So you can get into the server. Is it a trial version, or is it the free version that you get? Because I've seen it before where you can't get into it and you seem to be floating above the vehicle. For instance, you can try and get into this server if you want. I'm not sure if there's a frog foot on here. There might be. And have a look. And if you can get into this, I know that I've got free planes and things switched on. Some servers may only have it for some people, or may not have everything there. They definitely will switch off trial aircraft. there's a guy who flies with us, and he's from New Zealand. The helicopter guy I mentioned, who flies helicopters, he's from New Zealand. I'm running on a 2 gig line, and it depends what you're running on as well. And I know you've got quite good lines over there. That it should be doable. Bearing in mind we're on Syria, right? Ah, right, okay, Starlink, okay. Yeah, that's not going to be the lowest latency, is it really? Oh, let's have a look. We've got attack jets coming in, by the looks of it, coming in from 270-ish. Probably going to go after me. See if I can actually land this time. There's a missile coming out. I don't think it's... Oh, shit! Right, nice. Crash number 2. Do you know what that was? Stop your laughing, you. I saw a missile coming from that MiG, yeah? And I've suddenly realised something, that when I was demonstrating the controls earlier, I wasn't in my helicopter. And that control in this helicopter, I am pretty sure, is the trim button. And what did I do? I just clicked it a couple of times randomly. Oh yeah, cyclic grip, look, CD release. I am such a divvy. Where's Fletcher? Let me look. What did I say earlier? Check, flare and chaff. Oh, there we go. Right. I think I do, definitely. So this button in this helicopter, that was hilarious, was it not? Oh dear, what's happened there, pup? Sorry, pup, what was that? Yeah, and me, I was shot down by a plane. The other thing is, right, we do missions. Sometimes we'll do simpler missions, we'll do hard missions, but we're not over serious, so it's fairly light. You can join some groups, and it's a lot more serious than what we are, if you see what I mean. Everybody's here to just enjoy themselves, have a fly, work together as best as they can, and that's it. So, oh, hello, AI Lisa. I'm really. Do you know what? I didn't hear. Did you run the bath behind me? Didn't hear. I didn't hear whale noises either. No, I got a cup of tea coming, and I only wind her up, by the way. I'm not serious. Right. Hello, welcome to the stream. If you've just joined, nothing's happened here. Just going to start up the Chinook for the first time. And let's move that over. Good morning, Barbara. You only just turned up? Oh, I was a bit early, wasn't I, starting today? That's because I'm going to give Lisa a lift to work, so I'll be finishing at 1 o'clock today. You alright, Stingy? Did you get it sorted in the end? No turning back. It's just... Oh, that's not good. Did you sort your clipper out? That was... That... Did you find... Oh, you can't, can you? You can't go there, can you? That's not good. Did I do that one there? Right, so we're talking about Star Citizen, and he can't get in a game and he's stuck, so his character's stuck somewhere, and he can't get back in. So he's missing all the event that's on at the moment. If you got any Star Citizen questions as well, please feel free to ask. I'm a bit, Star Citizen and DCS, and I'll do the same in Star Citizen, explain how it works, what you're supposed to be doing, how your controls work, stuff like that. Because it's one of these games you get into, and if you don't know your way around it, it's rather daunting. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'm streaming now for a short while. Just jumped into the Chinook. And that's up to speed, so we'll start the second engine. We'll just look down, make sure the second engine, you can see it over there, NG2, up to 12, let go. As I said, it's a very simplistic start at the moment. How are you, Barbie? Remember, don't double click the button that manages your trim when you lay to the ground. It's not good. Take 3. We'll roll these on. To be. Put the Jennies on. Pull you off. Backup power on. Oh, cross feed off. And finish off with the last little bits. While I'm doing that, I can open the back. So that'll be open. Too far.
Searching. Fixed wing. 6 o'clock. Searching.
Oh.
Fixed wing.
Eggy one fail.
Fixed wing. 6 o'clock. Searching.
Okay. Yes, cock? Yes. Alright, number 12. Well, 12 o'clock, you know what I mean. Right, now we should be open at the back. Shall we try take 3? Now you can start having bets. I used to be able to have bets as to whether I'm actually going to get there and do it, but I changed all the bot that I use to manage everything, and I don't think I can do that now. Good job Kev's not here, because I know he'd be berating me. Oh, we saw it then. It's all in its crates. Close the door. Take off. I think I've done everything. Remember not to press that button while I'm talking. And we should be up and down. I just thought when I forgot who it was, but when you said about floating above, that's when you join other people's servers. Because if you do your own, you'll find sometimes you can get that same effect. Hey, good morning. Welcome back. Shall I try not to fly over the SAM site? What do you reckon? It's probably a good idea, isn't it? So I'm guessing there's a jet still out there shooting. So what I'm actually trying to do is probably quite useful, because it'll just stretch out our SAM zone. I've got to watch these jets as well, look. every other week she's not working, but next week we're out on Friday, aren't we? Next week, so we're going into Brum, and it's something we do twice a year with some of the old team I used to work with. So when I'm sort of managing people, I don't get involved in anything. I keep it strict. You know, I'm the manager, they're the staff, and there's no sort of anything. But as we were winding down, we'd got about 7 months notice, so that was fine. And we sort of would go out, and there's one of my managers, the people who I manage, he's a manager of other people, and so there's him, another guy, and one of the other guys in Leeds. We go and do VR in Birmingham. So next week I'm going to have to change hands here, so let's try and do this without. Let me try this bit. Hang on a minute. I should be able to. I don't want to press that button. I need to go to F10, then zoom out. There we go. Thought I was going a bit off. So we're going out in VR in next Friday. So we'll go into Brum, go to a VR place. The German market's open. We'll go down there, have a few beers, some food, then go around the back end of Brum to some interesting little pub type places or bars. And we make a sort of day of it. And then that means Saturday she's not working, so we should be back to normal time, and then it depends on what happens with my feet, because when you're flying with pedals and you're my age and you're also a diabetic and you're on other medication, your feet swell. So after a bit of flying, especially if I'm using pedals, I have to stop because I can feel my feet tingling, and then it makes it difficult. I just sound like some old fart now, don't I, with like issues, which I suppose I am, I guess. But it's just little things you don't think of. You know what I mean? If you cut the circulation off. For instance, if you try flying 24 hours, believe me, streaming 24 hours. I did it once by mistake. I didn't know. You have all sorts of problems. Yeah, no worries. Hey, Mr. Camel. How are you? One of the other guys on here is from New Zealand, and I said he could come on. Said yours works, but he's on Starlink, so he's not quite going to have the same experience, is he? In fact, if it was you who said you wanted to come on and watch from inside, you're more than welcome. But anyone can come on if you want to join in. We haven't got so much of the mission today. Yeah. How are you, Mr. Camel, anyway? You good? This is my first trip out in this thing. I'll just leave it at that. I haven't crashed, I haven't VRS'd. I didn't accidentally push the trimming button either by mistake. That didn't happen when I was quite close to the floor. Ah, good grief, yeah. What, you just done a long day again, an 18-hour day? I was just bemoaning stuff like that myself. Mine's only 12 to 13. Driving in wet weather in the dark on the motorway is not fun. Yeah, I can imagine, mate. You must be wrecked. You think you're not. You know you're tired. You might get home, you might have a show, you have a drink and you sit down, and as soon as you relax, you suddenly find yourself asleep without knowing it. Do you know what I mean? It's what Lisa does a lot of. Especially if she's on 12-hour shifts. She works in a care home, so she's on the go all the time. And you know, it's like you get there, you stop, you go home, and a bit like you, although different things. And it's, I always tell her I know she's going to go to sleep because she wants to watch something we've been watching, and give it 20 minutes and she's gone. Right. There's that little hill, I think, or it might be that one. Going a bit quicker this time. Oh yeah, no, I know. She goes to sleep with her phone in one hand and her other hand. It usually starts with a finger pointing at it, but then the finger slowly retracts and turns into a fist. And I've seen her multiple times sitting there asleep, right, with a phone in her hand and her fist resting on the phone. It's hilarious. She just switches off. The only time I remember being that bad was I've come to New Zealand, and I took the route where there's a 1 hour stop off in Singapore. That's it. So it was a 26-hour flight, more or less. And when I got there, we were watching, I remember watching, it was Brain Damage. And then I woke up and I was sitting in a darkened room and they'd all gone to bed. And I had no idea I'd gone to sleep. And I'd be talking and my eyes would just drop. Oh yeah, New Zealand is excellent. I've been there a couple of times. There's a guy over there, a kite maker in the South Island, Peter Lynn. If you're into kites and stuff like that, you'd be aware of him. But yeah, he's a New Zealander, and I've been there a couple of times, stopped with him and his family. Really nice guy. I used to do a sport that he created, which is kite buggying, which is using big kites to power a three-wheel kite buggy on the floor. So it's one of the things I used to do, and created the British Buggy Club, and then the BKSF, which is the British Kite, or BPKSF, British Power Kite Sports Federation. But I had to stop it in 2010 because the job that I got when I started in disasters, well, for the second time, it was just, I couldn't do it because of the hours I was working and where I was working. Right, so ideally what you want to do is get low down to the floor. Just remember your ascent might drag a bit, and if you fly helicopters already, you'll definitely need more collective on this than you think you would need. And you see the way it's popped up in the air, something else I was mentioning before. But I do need to get down quick, and so I can get this thing unloaded. Would help if I could read the numbers, wouldn't it? I'd even have an idea. How fast I was going, so I was concentrating on. Can you tell? It's very rare for me to concentrate that much, and I go quiet, and everyone's going, yeah, you never concentrate. Hey, hi California, how are you? Welcome back. Come on, get down, you fat ass. That's the helicopter, not me. Alright, not crashed twice or anything like that as I've been coming in, because it is very, as I said, very prone to plopping. I think I've got it. I've got it here. Stay down. Right. Yeah, it's been one of those days. Let's have a look where I am. Right on the circle, more or less. Back door's opening. Very slowly, you'll notice. And now I can deposit this. Just one moment. Manage crates. Drop crates. Looks like drop and build. Right, now I've got to get out of the way quick, so I'll fasten that. This is on mine. You're more than welcome to jump in. I missed your previous comment. I'll just look at it in 1 second. But you're more than welcome to join on. It's Syria. Flying Foothold. Now this is a lot lighter now. Hopefully I'm not too close. We should see. There we go. So now, right, what I've done is added that in there. Right, which should have added more support here for all these guys who are pushing over. Everyone's in. Oh, there we go. We've got one over there. I was going to say everyone's flying planes, but helicopters too. So basically, this should give some support a little bit further out.
Nice.
Right, so those. Oh yeah, this thing is absolutely amazing. To be honest, I'll take it back now. I don't get points for doing that, I don't think. But I'll take it back to the base, and then we'll get into something else. Which way are we going? I better make sure before I... should be 90 degrees, 88. Right, and we are pointing 291, so a bit of a right turn. Oh, really? Are you missing out? You see, the Apache is brilliant, especially when you've got 2 people. Yeah, it's the Apache is nice, and I much prefer it with 2 people. I think the FCR, yeah, which is good, but it just removes. It's a little bit too automated. Does that make sense? Let's just come around here. So I'm trying to read these numbers here. Look, and then we'll go over that way, and hopefully I'll correct it. Yeah, the Shark is really nice if you're by yourself. Yeah, I know what you mean, excuse me. When I learnt in the Apache, me and some other guy were learning at the same time. So I was the gunner, he was the pilot. So at first I spent a lot of time in the gunner seat, and obviously some of the features weren't there then. But for a while we never actually ended up getting to the target site. Look where I'm going. Ah, right, yeah. There's so much in there, and it does take a while, but the trouble is, I mean, it's... But you've got to rely... Are you relying on Doodad, whatever his name is? Gerald, the gunner. Because he doesn't always... That's the one, George. It was a G, wasn't it? That was close. George is a bit of a pain in the ass at times. I need to go more. And he doesn't necessarily always fire at what you want him to fire at. And he can't always see the stuff, which is why I was saying, when you're flying with 2 people in, it's great, but you do have to work together. So when I was first learning, sometimes we never even got to the target, but it was hilarious. Or you go to shoot and the helicopter's not stable enough, do you know what I mean? It was all over the place, but it was great fun. But as you learn and you fly with somebody, then you can start getting used to it. And for that reason, I will fly the Apache, especially if I'm just explaining some of the basics. But it's much better. Oh yeah, and if you've got a good pilot with you, then it can be really good. But then I spent so much time out of the front gun that when I come to it, I'm a bit fingers and thumbs with my keys. And they've also added bits in and added more in, and I'm not keeping up on it as much because of the way I'm working. It's just my time is terrible at the moment. That may change sort of a few months after Christmas, but we'll see. Oh yeah, it's really good fun. Oh right, yeah. I've got that. I still haven't flown it yet, and I got it on pre-release. I have a tendency when something comes out not to bother, especially when I do what I do. If I'm trying to explain something to somebody, then I'll spend that time doing it. Next week it's going to be different. And if you're doing sort of one-to-one or one-to-a-group teaching, what happens is it keeps changing things, and then you don't know what's going on. So that's one of the reasons why I never flew beta when it used to be stable and beta, because I didn't want those changes. And also, there's a couple of caveats to this. I will tend to not fly something that's just still in early release. However, this and the Apache, I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. Do you know what I mean? And I know there's not a lot there, but you end up building muscle memory up, and then it changes. And they did that to the A10. The A10 I'd flown for so long, I didn't have to think about it. And then they changed the way the countermeasures work, which I think I'm with now. But then they changed something else. Do you know what I mean? And there's a few things they've changed on it over time. And one change, my mouse button, mouse click, made the switches go in the opposite direction. So I didn't know whether I was pressing left mouse or right mouse. And it still gets confusing. And the same with the Apache. It's that ingrained that it flipped. I don't know why, but suddenly my mouse buttons were doing the opposite thing. It's a pain in the ass. But yeah, normally I stick to something that I know works. And they take years in early access. Yeah, it's ridiculous, isn't it? I'm only getting Saturdays properly to fly because as good as this is, there's very few things you can jump into for a quick half hour. I think the exception being the Huey, because it's so easy and quick to start up that you can just get in, get going, and then you're off. Whereas most things take a little bit longer. See if I can land it without crashing it, eh? I'll go through periods where I don't gob it, and then another time you just will. And it really doesn't take much. Are you off to bed now, Camel? Don't know what's going on with the rest of the mission at the moment, but hopefully my little hawk sight there is helping a little bit. I'll jump in possibly the shark, and this time I'll make sure I've got some. Make sure I get supplies with me, because by the time I get there, they'll probably have finished it. Oh, you're waiting up. Waiting up specially. What are you going to do if you're disappointed? You're going to sob yourself to sleep tonight. What with this? Probably not now. This will just go for a long time. So it's only a short hop. Yeah, no worries. Right, I'll jump into the shark and I'm gonna flip it. Normally I'll explain every week. I explain every time I get into something new. I'll explain how to start it up and everything. Is there anybody specifically want me to go through the startup of the shark? It's the Shark 3. Do you want me to go through the startup routine? Or I'll just jump in. Hot spawn my butthole. Nobody learns anything with a hot spawn. Scream for that. I've got my cup of tea. I'm going to have to drink that, otherwise it's not going to be a hot cup of tea. It's going to be a tepid cup of tea, isn't it? I'm going to have to sort my volumes out as well a little bit. I've forgotten I'd adjusted them during the week when I was watching something. Just note, can you see the joystick movements I'm doing to control this, by the way? They're a little bit bigger than most helicopters, but it's still relatively small. Small little nudges, not big movements. The other thing is also, I don't have the weight on here that I had when I was going out before. You can see it's still climbing a little bit. Come on, get down. Doesn't want to, does it? There you go, Mr. Camel. You can go to bed now without seeing me crash because you were far too late. Right. Let's see if I can make this stop. If I can get it to stop like this. I don't know whether there's a rotor brake on it. I don't think there is. So it's all switched off and it just keeps going. I'm just going to try. No, it's going to fly. Bizarre, isn't it? Sure, it should be stopping, but I was just going to try and change the pitch on the blades to get it to brake itself, like slow it down. It's not doing it now. Right. Is that proper good? Yeah. Let's have a look at the mission then and see what's there. There's not a lot there. I think I might get in the shark. Take some supplies over. Don't know what this area is doing. No, another air base, isn't it? Geez, they're all air bases. Bomb runway, okay. So I was just going to say, has anyone done it? Someone's done it. So we've just got to attack it. I'm just drinking my cup of tea at the moment. So this is Clave in the A10. He's done it. Got a couple of Apaches here. CJ and Sting. This map is really, really nice. You've got so many variations. Let's get rid of the bar on the bottom. So many variations and things you can set up with ships, close quarters stuff in towns. These are tiny like little village things. It's big and open. Obviously got desert, it's got greenery. It works incredibly well, but it's very memory hungry. If you're going to stream and you've only got 32 gig of RAM, you're not going to be able to stream in Syria. I tried that ages ago, and while you're going along, it just basically... Is what? Oh, sorry. It basically just... Sorry, I'm distracted by something that's giving me a warning. It's basically just memory hungry, and if you try and stream as well with OBS, forget it. Well, I need to do my audio, don't I? Right, cup of tea's finished. Let's go check these levels. Oh, hang on a minute. Oh, right, someone just say something in chat room. One thing that we have to test this morning, I'll do it myself actually while I'm here. That's better. I can hear. There you go. Thank you. It's just that now I can hear. So see around the back end of them. CJ, so we've got 4 choppers. Are they within range? Let's have a look. 5k, yeah, they should be. These two are getting ready to fire. Radar, loading missiles, using so the fire control radar is the stick with a hat on. Actually turns round, so that will rotate. The models on these things are absolutely brilliant, as well as all the models on DCS and all the models on Star Citizen are absolutely brilliant. Right, okay, let's go and jump into something and join in with the fight. Right, so a little bit earlier what I said is, does anybody want me to go over the black shark or not? If you want me to, shout out now. If you're having any problems with the black shark, let me know and I'll try and help you out as best as I can. So I'm just putting on some basic weapons and removing the
Shactos.
anti-air. We'll go into black, neutral, say okay. Okay, so no one's jumped up and shouted out. I'll just go through this without explaining everything, which means I should get in the air a little bit quicker. So I don't mind if anyone's got any questions. It looks more complicated than it is, to be honest, but it's not really. And it is subtly different to what happens with the Shark 2. There's a couple of other different features. There's a lot of similarities, but there's a couple of differences that you need to be aware of, but no one's asked.
Rifle.
Just waiting for the APU, and then we can start it up. Seatbelt warning. So I have a persistent cough, but I've also seemingly got a bad cough as well, which is different to the persistent cough. So I am muting myself quite a bit because I need to cough, and I don't want to cough down your ears, especially when I've got 2 mics. It won't sound great. So just waiting for the first engine to get up to speed. The other thing is, if you suddenly see me looking around and pointing and it's quiet, there's 2 things there. I've either dropped down dead or I forgot to unmute myself. Usually it's I forgot to unmute myself.
Rifle.
But you never know. You can hear my voice is hoarse.
Traveller said, show me the helicopter from the outside, please.
Yeah, sure. So, unfortunately I've chosen black. Right, so it's difficult to see at the moment because I've used a black. So this helicopter is a dual counter-rotating blade, okay? So there's 2 blades. Top one goes one direction if you look, and the bottom one goes in the opposite direction. That counters the torque. What the hell missiles have I got on here? I've put the wrong ones. I'll have to change it. That counters the torque, and therefore you don't need an anti-torque rotor or tail rotor on the back. Let me change the skin and what? It's Russian. It's a Russian helicopter, and I'll tell you a little bit in a minute.
D_camera said Russia.
Yeah, it is a Russian one, which is why it's all full of switches. Okay, let me continue starting it up. I'll change the skin. I'll load different weapons because I picked the wrong ones by mistake, and then I'll explain a little bit about it. Alright, so we've got the first engine up. We're going to do the second engine, and it's exactly the same process as the first, but using the second engine, moving switches to the second engine, etc. What I'm doing here is just keeping an eye on the needle, which is the RPM. When it hits the 20%, then I'm moving the engine cutoff lever up. So this is the shark throw. Okay, you can see now the exhaust gas temperature's going, which means that was a good clean start. We've got some semblance of a hood.
Right.
I'll put the visor on.
Crashed.
The what crashed?
Game crashed.
A Microsoft squirrel got you?
Yeah.
Or a DCS squirrel? That's a bugger, mate. Okay, so what I'm looking at now is the RPM here. While I'm waiting for that, I'll just want to put a standby thing on as well. Right, okay, so when
Single 18 on final into TS, runway 090.
when the engine's up to idle, what I'm going to do now is put the engines up to work mode. The only way you can do that is by pressing a button. There is no hot thing here. You have to have a key bound, or do what I do, page up twice. When I page up twice, you'll hear 3 messages, okay, or should do. Excellent. Why is my page up not working? I don't have a page up on my... There it is. Dozy bugger.
Electrics on battery. Doppler navigation system failing. No nav data.
Okay, so you got 3 warnings. Electrics on battery, Doppler navigation system failure, and no nav data. So you can see there's no nav data there, there's no ribbon. Okay, this is the difference between the Shark 2 and the Shark 3. So normally on the Shark 2 I would have started the INU, or the inertial navigation unit, earlier, but in the Shark 3 you don't, because it has alignment. Okay, now on this particular mission, the guy who set it up has done a fast alignment for these helicopters, so you don't need to align it, but I'm going to explain it anyway. So once you've got it powered up, right, we're going to switch on this navigation unit to operation. We're going to turn round and switch the INU, which is on the right shoulder, on. Now you'll see your ribbon and everything else. That's because he's set up fast alignment. If he hadn't set up fast alignment, when you look at this, you'll see here there's actually 2 symbols. There's a diamond and there's a triangle, and you'll find that the triangle, which represents your heading, is 10 degrees out from where the diamond is. So what you would need to do, if that's the case, is go onto the map. Nice easy way of doing it. Click yourself and see what your heading is. 270. Okay, so what would normally happen is your heading will be 270, your trimmer diamond will be on 280. So what you need to do is go down to here. Okay, remember where this is set, and spin it around till it says 270, and then you press this button here, MH, manual heading, and you press it down and then back to the middle, and then put that back where it was, and then you'll find this is sorted. Okay. The other thing I forgot to mention is when you put the INU on normally, you'll see a little symbol in the bottom, and you've got to wait 3 minutes for it to align, and then it aligns with a 10-degree difference. When it's on fast align, it just does it. Okay, I'll show you that. What I'll do is some I'll say over Christmas. I've got 2 days off Christmas and Lisa's working, so I'll try and fit something in, and I'll put my training server on my machine, and then I'll go through some of these things so that you can see the differences. I'm also intending to do a Christmas Day stream, because again Lisa's working Christmas Day, so we'll have to have Christmas Day a different day, for instance. Right, so once that's done, then we can carry on with the rest of the startup. So just put the radios on, put the data link on there. Anybody in a shark? I'll go number 1 if they stop. Put on the pitch hold, heading hold, bank hold. It sounds a bit like oops, just died. Put on the seat ejection system. Put on the fire extinguisher. Turn round to the back. Put on the L140 laser and the UV26. Okay. So we've got. Whoops. So I've just looked up here, and that isn't there, right? And this tells me I forgot. Do you remember the messages at the beginning? Electrics on battery. I forgot to put these onto the generators, and now you'll see that'll come on. Okay. Once.
I just spawned on top of you, Pop.
Yeah, I was going to say. He thinks he spawned on top of you, Six. So I think you both spawned at the same time, and it couldn't tell who was first, so it thought, sod it. Let's see what happens, eh? Okay, so we don't need this anymore. We stop the APU with this button. We turn around and stop the fuel flow. Okay. And this should be ready to go. We'll put this into nav mode. Okay. Right, so I need to change the weapons. The only way we're going to be able to change that is if we have the radio set to the ground crew. And then I'm going to call up the weapon change. I'll change his skin as well and see if it gives us a little bit better loadout. This is the one I meant to pick. Was that busy yapping away? So this has got 12 Vickers and some rockets. We'll change the...
said, no, if I wanted to join your server, how do I go about it? I want to test it out to see if it may be with mapping and also learn to fly the Apache.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Have you got TeamSpeak? And if I say TeamSpeak, do you know what it is?
Request rearming.
So you can see a copy there. If the radio's not on, it won't work. Okay. Let me let me go and see if I can whisper. Right, CJ. All right, okay, that's interesting. So we've got the site, have we? That's excellent. At the moment, I was just coming out in a shark, and I've just started it up. Let me try and get your name. Is it Stray Volt something? Stray. I can't quite. Let me try and do it a different way. Let's try. And I can't copy and paste it either. Is there a whisper thing? I've got so many bloody windows, and some of them are overlapping a bit, even with the screens I've got. There we go. Right, I've clicked on Whisper, but it's not giving me what I wanted to do. Trying to whisper you the password at the moment, and I can't quite get. Right, so if I do, is this just to you? If I click on this, can everyone see that?
Well said. Test.
Just want to grab hold of your name so I can paste it in something else. Oh, wait a bit, that might work. There you go. Right. So I've just whispered this to you, by the way. Can you let me know that you've got it? Yeah, that's fine. It didn't work the way I thought it did, or would. But I think I've got it now. Right, okay. So, yeah, I'm going to bring some over this time. So now we can see more of the helicopter with a different skin, okay? I can also take supplies. So I'm going to go other. Logistics, load supplies. Okay, supplies are loaded. Alright. Okay, and what's this one called? Shayrat. So I should be able to change my... Oh, why do I keep pressing that? Change this to Shayrat. Eventually, you got to be careful though, because you end up doing this and you're going to skip over it. So
Ready,
you don't want to. 5x5. Oh, that won't work, will it? If my radio is in the wrong place. How many bloody sites are there? Yeah, okay. Did I put my radio back? No, I didn't, therefore it won't work. 1, 2, 4, radio check.
5x5.
There we go. So now I can see where I'm going. I'll explain all the rest of this after, alright? Because we need supplies. So let me just get out there and then I'll explain once I get going what's going on. Should be able to put my undercarriage up. One day I'm going to get a button for it. Right. So with a shark, the trimming is quite different to the Huey, but if you learn the Huey and you learn the shark, how that trims, you'll find it's much easier than the Apache. So I'll go take some supplies over. Did that hawk sight actually do anything over there? Oh, is that what it did? Yeah, obviously, yeah. Yeah. Alright. I was waiting. You stumbled that. I was just waiting for it then. Yeah.
I'm heading over there at the moment.
Alright. Oh look, I'm going a little bit off here. I can see, so I can go over there. While I'm going, you'll see my speed there, that's in kilometres, right? I'll explain the trimmer and everything after. That is important on this helicopter. But you just should be aware what happens with the blades, because they are spinning round in opposite directions. The blades lift on different sides. So you can see here, the blades on the top lift on the left, the blades on the bottom lift on the right. As a consequence, the blades over on the right hand side get closer and closer and closer, and they will actually collide, and you get a blade strike, which is not great. This is ideal for a cup of tea. This is the best helicopter for a cup of tea. I am completely hands and feet free, not touching anything. You can see this is climbing a little bit, so I'll just drop the collective a fraction. Not too much, it'll speed up, and then eventually you'll get some sort of balance. I'm also a bit cockeyed, you can see that's not straight. I'm not too bothered at this moment. It's flying, might have a slight flying. Weapons that are on the system, you see we're dropping a little bit, so I'm just gonna increase the collective a smidgen, and that will stop dropping. That may slow down a bit more. And then it'll just stop.
Warning. Under attack. Warning.
Someone coming up behind me.
Warning. Under attack.
Who's targeting me?
Under attack. Warning. Under attack.
Anyone shot some specific missiles coming in?
Warning. Under attack. Warning. Under attack.
Is that you, pup?
Oh,
Shots out from TS at J15.
Ah, right, thank you. So, see, this basically, I should have realised, but right, okay. I have no idea. Right, I just know the shots firing is a bit behind me. I should have realised, really. But it just saves you sort of trying to take evasive action. So normally when it's one of our guys, they'll shout rifle or something like that. And so you know who's firing. Otherwise, you end up taking evasive. Short range got some credits. We're going over there somewhere, I think. I seem to be going over there a little bit. It's not too bad. I can just correct slightly. Because of the roll there, I'll correct it and I can let go again. I'll explain what's going on with this and why it does what it does. But it is quite good when you need a drink. I've put the axis on, you can see here that the stick is forward quite a lot. So the lift is being converted into forward movement.
you can see the fires on the map.
To the smoke nearest pilot.
Yeah, copy.
Oh yeah.
Out the logistics seesaw.
Yeah, there's a couple of them, but they're some distance away from you at the moment.
It's coming.
Yeah.
Bearing 269.
Copy.
What are these two there? Okay, MI8 and CH. I think they're running supplies now. When you capture a base, if you look, it says 1 of 3, so it needs supplies to actually fortify the base. So we need another 2 lots of supplies. So I've got some supplies. I'm guessing those other 2 guys have got supplies as well. As I get faster, like if I go and overdo it, you'll hear a beeping. And as soon as you hear the beeping, you've got to do something, otherwise you know your helicopter's just going to drop out the sky basically. Look at the blades, so they're getting really close now. And if I do a sudden movement, remember that all the control surfaces are coming through those blades. Alright, that's the rudder, the pitch, the roll, are through those blades. So if I do something drastic, I may end up pushing those together even more, which will cause us to crash. Good morning, Yam. Late night, was it? I did start earlier because it's Lisa's working week this week. Sham's not on, is he, today? Oh, like same coffee person as last week.
It's been moved to Saturdays now.
Ah. Is this anything that you should be telling me about, or is this just a coffee morning?
She's my best mate.
Ah, that's fair enough. I've got one. I've got a few actually. I keep saying to the other half, can we move them in, but she's not keen. I said, but we could get an au pair. She's not keen. Kids grown up and gone. What can you do? So as we move over now, you'll see the terrain start to change significantly coming down the coast. Beirut is probably massive in terms of town-wise compared to some of the places we've been. I'm just over here at the moment. Everyone's rushing. Unfortunately,
there's 2 crates of this horse system left. Any chance of just dropping down and picking up and taking the rack?
I don't think that's going to happen. She's working Christmas Day. She's working nearly all over Christmas. So she's got holiday next week. And that's it. So she's working Christmas Day. She's working Christmas Eve. I think she's working Boxing Day. So I've got 2 days at Christmas. I normally have like a week or so, but not this year.
Okay,
I'll be streaming on Christmas Day because I'm not going to be eating Christmas dinner and doing Christmas stuff. But I will definitely stream Christmas Day. I know there won't be many people on, but that's absolutely fine. It gives me something to do. Just for a point of ref, I have done a very simplistic World War II PvP based on the Channel 2 map in the UK, and I need it testing at some point because what I need to know is whether I've got to put more points on or the way this dynamic spawning works properly. I can definitely spawn, but I don't know whether multiple people use the same thing to spawn or not. I don't know. If anyone can answer that, that'll be good. And it is a straight sort of usual thing. Yeah. So you might, right, see the server go down, or I might just run it up on my own machine just to see what happens.
Yeah, just that's that.
I just need to know if multiple people can spawn at the same place at the same time on many different things. And that way I've only put 2 dynamic spawns, 1 in each. And also whether the place is viable, because it's obviously different than before. I've still got a few more things to do, but nothing major. It's quite simplistic. So these guys are going off, hopefully after these MiGs. That'll give us some cover there. You can see I'm heading down here. So once I get there, I've just got to land, drop off the supplies, and then I'll explain the way the trimmer system works and a little feature while we move on to the next. Anyone got any questions on the shark, by the way, while I'm going along? We've still got a short. Hey, Irix. It's going all good, thank you, matey. How are you again? I don't know, I don't see you for a long time, and then I've seen you twice in a week. Might see you again tomorrow, eh? Hello, Stixie. How are you, matey? How's it going? How are you getting on with flying and stuff, if you've had chance? I know you work. Yeah? Are you enjoying it? Right, Stixie.
Just got gliders and couples back in game.
Oh, excellent. How you finding it?
Yeah, it's better than
Oh, yeah. Sorry, say that again?
I'm so sick that I was bedridden.
Oh, right, okay. That's fair enough. You had, was it a flu thing that's going round? Yeah, that's, you don't need to explain that, mate. Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, it's like me if I get flu or anything, COVID, because I'm an asthmatic and a diabetic, it doesn't help, does it? Okay. Don't overdo it.
But 2 weeks ago I had quite a worse case of memory issues.
Yeah. Also... well, for God's sake. Ah, that's better. Sorry. What I was going to say is, yeah, 2 things you haven't done it for a while. And the other one, if you had any temperature issues during your time off, you might find it screws your head up as well. It has done to me. And it took a month before I could actually get back together properly. No, that's what I mean. That's two versions. One is because you haven't done it for a long time. And the other one, if you did have any temperature related problem, that can cause the same problem. Which is fascinating when it happens.
Yeah, well, it was more like...
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, it drops out, but once you start... From playing what? Oh, from the planes, switching planes, yeah, I gotcha. Just get started, mate. Do something simple like a helicopter which you can fly. You know, you don't want to reach, what's the phrase? Don't want to reach for the moon on day one. Just get into something simple that isn't going to frustrate the hell out of you while you're just trying to get to grips with it, if that makes sense. The main... I know what you mean. Start with a Huey. It's a 2-second startup, isn't it? Okay.
But it is also a bit what issue is because I need to how to call it, challenge myself.
No, that's fair enough.
What
What? Airfield, we're coming off tyres at the moment. We're just capturing whatever we are. Shirat, is it? Yeah, we've been taking off at tyres.
Lower gear. Lower gear.
Oh, we can. Oh, yeah. It's alright, there's another one just along from tyres, if you look, called SHYRAT. Thanks, Singh. Yeah, Shirat. It's where if they stick the red out their hole, they blush. Right, we're just going land. The left corner, you have the trim thing. Not. Oh, you mean yes? Sorry, the axis. Yes. Okay, just 1 minute. On the. Are we talking which ship? Okay. Yeah, just 1 minute. Probably. Oh, I've got my undercarriage out. That's good.
You know what I'm talking about, though, right?
Yeah, I think so. So that you're looking at the axis, but it's the button that controls the trim on the Apache you're thinking about, yeah?
No, you see that diamond that you're using, you use to set the trim. That's what I'm talking about.
Right, okay, yeah. But that is a reflection of your settings rather than... Right, okay, so that, what I was trying to explain, is not what you think it is. That display just tells you what it is, and what you want is the actual trimmer on the Apache. So once you know what the buttons are, that just reflects what you're doing with those buttons. Right, okay. No, that's fine, that's fine. Let me dump these supplies off and I'll show you the button for the Apache. Yeah, okay. So if I go to the controls,
There's you.
here you are. Right, so
Yeah.
Hello, mate. How you doing?
Not too bad.
right,
See you back.
Good
Good to see you.
right.
I think this is now in the last 3 months, 6 times I've set up all my controls.
Yeah, didn't you reinstall it? Well, that was
Yeah, I had to reinstall.
Right,
Oh, my machine was a bit. I had to remove everything.
are you, can you see the stream at the moment, Stixie?
Yeah, I can see if I can improve a bit of the quality.
You can look on the YouTube version and you'll see it better. Right, so this is the trimmer itself. Yeah, just force trim, right? So basically, it's forward. Oh. It's obviously picking up buttons when I press my stick. It's forward, right? Is the trimmer button. So you press it, you hold it like the shark, adjust, you let go, and then center your stick in your pedals, right? The left and the right, the left is attitude hold, and the right is altitude hold, and then aft will be a reset of the attitude and or altitude hold.
Yeah,
So, wat is er dan van uit?
The forward is when you trim, it's the same as the shark. So you press and hold, that disengages the trimmer, and when you where you want it to be trimmed, you let go of the forward, okay? And then you center your stick and your rudder. So it, okay, the aft or down is reset, attitude hold and altitude hold. So attitude will be left and altitude will be right, and you would use those so that in conjunction with your trimmer, the attitude hold will hold it and the altitude will keep it at that altitude, but unlike the shark, it's a very low percentage hold. Yeah, you've probably got those buttons. Just press a few hats when you're in your pilot on the control options, and it should jump to it. Yeah, I thought you would have done. And then no, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, and if you put it's right control and enter, I think will bring up the little axis. Right, okay, so we drop those supplies off, right, which is the main thing, and now you can see that this place has got all the supplies it needs, therefore it's got all the defences, etc, etc. This little circle can go. Don't need that anymore. So we're moving over to this area to attack. Okay, the reason why we can see what's there is because we've got a drone. I forgot what it's called, a Reaper. There you go, a Reaper over there. So there's not too much there, say 15, etc, etc.
Remember the key again to remove the glass in front of your eye.
Oh, I think that's set up outside, isn't it?
Thank you, I got it.
You got it. Right, okay. So let's head over towards not Shayrat. We're heading over towards Al Khuzari, which is number 57. In the shark, we don't get the numbers. Somebody's written names. So I need to change this to... I don't know how it's going to be written. If I can't find the thing, then I'll just... Oh, what was it called again? Al Khuzari. Right, okay. So I'd be looking for something like Al Q, possibly. The numbers when you create waypoints in the shark.
I'm not too good at home.
What you're hovering in? You're not too good at hovering. How many times have you hovered in that? Loads. It's because you haven't been in it for so long, isn't it? Right, I'm still trying to find it. As you can see, there's an awful lot of waypoints. I'm sure there must be a quicker way. I'm just cycling. There's TS, Shayrat. There we go. That's it. Okay. So, if I put this on so we can see what's going on. When you fly this helicopter, the trimmer system takes 20% of the control authority. So what that means, let me just wind this volume down a little bit because I've been adjusting my volume, and that's a bit better. So basically the helicopter control system, if you think of it as being 0 to 100%, the trimmer itself will manage the first 20%. So what that means, if your controls are not more than 20%, then the helicopter will fly and do what it's been trimmed to do. For instance, let's have a little look. Let's take off. Now, another thing as well, let me reset my trim. If you take off with the diamond or cyclic sitting down here in the middle by default, when you take off, you are going to go backwards, and you don't want to go backwards. You don't know what's behind you. We can be taking off and there's trees around us, etc. So you need to press your cyclic forward. So as I move the joystick forward, you'll see the diamond move with it. Right, so. Oh, sorry, Irox. I didn't catch that for some reason. I was probably talking. I do apologise. Yeah, there's some really good stuff in there, matey. So watch, as I start increasing the collective, which is here, I will start pushing this forward, and note that the B light is flashing. That means my wheel brakes are on. If my wheel brakes are not on, I'm going to roll forward. So when you're going to take off like this, you really want your brakes on, stop your rolling, okay? And that's because I have to press my stick forward. You'll see in a minute. There we go, stick forward. That stops me going backwards. Now I'm going to just point over here for now. Is that where the runway is? Pretty typical. I don't want to be flying over the runway, so...
Get those supplies.
Let me turn around a little bit more. And I'll just gently head over there, okay? I'll slow down a little bit. And I'm going to engage the trimmer, okay? Now, what does that do? So now, you'll see the helicopter's just doing whatever it's doing. I've trimmed it. All the trimmer does is sets what's going on with those blades. Remember I said that all the inputs are through those blades, all your flight control surfaces. So it's just slowly moving over to the right. If you look in the hood, you can see there's a line. That line tells me which way I'm drifting. Okay? So we can see, obviously, from here which way we're drifting. The other thing is, it changes length. So as we go faster, it will disappear when it gets to 50, but we're not going to go that fast yet. Okay? If you look in the hood, we've got the diamond and the triangle. The triangle is where my heading is. The diamond is where the trimmer is set. Okay? And what that means is once the trimmer's set, as long as I don't input more than 20% of my throttle input or my stick, the trimmer will manage it. Okay? So, if I now go to move and say I want to go over to the right, I'm going to just gently push my stick and turn right. But watch what happens. There's my stick, look. Now this thing should be going right. Can you see? It's not. It feels like it's resisting me. And that's because, right, the trimmer is in control. And the trimmer says, if you don't put more than 20%, then the trimmer's got it. So for me to actually start going over there where I want, I'm going to have to put more than 20% rudder, more than 20% stick, before it will start reacting. And now it's reacting, and now I'm going over there. Now we've gone past 50, you can see that the thing is gone. But the interesting thing is, look where the trimmer's set. Look where the heading is. Right? So when I let go of my stick and my rudder, I'm no longer pushing more than 20%. So the trimmer is going to go, okay, this is where I'm set to, and that's where you're going. So watch what happens. I've let go of my stick, let go of my trimmer. Helicopter's nosing up because it's slowing down. right? You can see it juddering a bit. Got to be careful we don't just drop out the sky. It's also rotating round. It's slowed us down completely. And now it's heading towards where the trimmer is set, or as close as it was before. And it's slowed us down to 20. Okay? Do you understand that? So the trimmer controls 20% of the input. If there's not 20% of the input, the trimmer is in control. When you go to turn, it makes it feel really, really sluggish. And it makes it feel sluggish because you've got to move your controls more than 20% to get it to move. Okay? And if you don't understand the trimmer, you'll be fighting the controls all the time. Because every time you try to move it, like I'm trying to move over to the left, it doesn't want me to. As soon as I hit that 21%, it'll move very slowly. Okay? And if I relax, it goes back. So when the trimmer is set... No, there's been no VRSs here, matey. You're on the wrong channel. Nothing's gone wrong here yet. You should know, you're dealing with professionals. Okay, so what do you do if I want to go over there, or better still, let's go towards where my target is. So what I need to do is disengage the trimmer. How do I disengage the trimmer? And just bear in mind, this is how the Apache trimmer works. I simply press the button and hold it. In the Apache and the Shark, when you hold the trimmer button, you disengage the trimmer. When you let go of the trimmer button, you engage the trimmer, which is not the same as, say, the Huey. The Huey, as soon as you press that button, it's trimmed, right? Whereas with this, you hold the button, you disengage it. Okay? When you've got to where you want, you let go of the trimmer and then relax your grip on your stick. Why would you need to do that? Right? Because if I hold my trimmer now, I can turn instantly, do what I want. I'm going to go over there, right? I'm going to let go of the trimmer, and you saw the diamond jump to the heading. However, my stick, look, I am moving my joystick, right, in real life, round and round to the full extent, and nothing. And the only way it will work is if I relax my grip on the stick, let it centre, and you'll see it jiggle. There. And now I've got a control back. So the point being, when I want to change anything, I hold the trimmer, make the changes that I want. At the moment I'm going to go down, I'm going to rotate round to where I'm going. Moving quite fast as it happens. And I'm also over 1,000 metres in the air, which is not great. That's over 300 yards. No, 3,000 feet. Sorry, that's better. So I'm changing everything. I'm reducing. Hear that beeping? Look at the blades. Oh no. I was going to say, it's straining the engine basically, doing what I was doing then. And by the time I'd let go, it was alright. So I'm turning it round to try and head in that direction. I'm adjusting my nose. You see the way the diamond looks, stays where it is. As soon as I relax the button and it sets the trimmer, you'll see the trimmer snap to the heading. And now I need to relax my stick, okay, and then the helicopter will go where I've set it. It's a bit bonk-eyed at the moment, that's an English phrase. So I'll make some further adjustments, slow it down just a little bit, lift the nose up just a little bit, drop the collective, drop it again, relax my grip. If I don't relax my grip and allow the stick to centre, I will have no input to the helicopter. That's the same for all the helicopters because it's how DCS manages trimming in helicopters. Right, you have to, unless you got force feedback, relax your grip on your stick so your real life stick centres, and you can see down here that my trim is way forward. So that there represents the centre for my real life stick. So as soon as I move it, only a little bit, look, you can see it moves instantly. But my real life stick is sitting in the middle. Okay? The reason for trimming originally, especially if you think of something like the Huey, I think it was cable based, and if you've got to hold something, you'll find there is a level of resistance. Wow, is that down a hole? Might be. There's a level of resistance, right? I don't want to go in this fast actually towards it, so I'll slow down. And what will happen is after a short while your arm is going to ache completely. And if you hold your arm and you're constantly pushing on something, it will ache, it'll tire. So when you trim it, you are taking the pressure off your arm. Now when you're in game, obviously you won't even be aware of any pressure other than the spring on your joystick, unless you've got a force feedback joystick, in which case it will push back on you, and then you'll be aware of what's going on. Does everybody understand that? Some people do get confused with this thing, and as I said, think it's resisting them, but really it's just understanding how the trimmer works. And if you know how this trimmer works, then you'll find that when you're in the Apache, it works the same. The only difference is, in the Apache, it will only govern the rotation, or your x-axis, and your pitch. One side is about 4%, one side pitch is about 6%, round about there. So you haven't got that 20% of trim where the trimmer controls it. So you have to be a little bit more forgiving with it. Whereas this, you can do anything and it works fine. So where am I at the moment? Oh, there I am, okay. It's a bit worrying that there's no one else. Have they gone off to somewhere else? Right, let's move this up, see? Holding the trimmer. Try not to do any panicky moves. Making sure I'm not going to hit anything. Trying to be low. Head towards target area. We've got cables coming across us, so we need to go under the cables, but we also need to go over the trees. So either go over them or under them. It's amazing how many times you think you know how big your chopper is, and then you catch it on the cables going over. The Huey does have cutters on, but not for that type of cable, and I don't think they actually cut any cables, but it does have them on it. I think if you hit pylons now, you'll actually fizzle, or you'll see some little explosive effect or something like that, but I haven't tried it, to be fair. See the way we're going slightly down, so I'll just make a slight adjustment, and like I was with the Chinook, make an adjustment so this is neither going down or up, and your speed will stabilise. And as I said before, as you're going along, you get lift on the left, on the top, lift on the right and the bottom, and you'll find that eventually your blades will meet. So I'm trying to see how far I am. What, to fly you mean? Oh, sorry.
27.
Are you in a Shark or what? Are you in the Chinook? Ah, right, okay. You should be able to... I can't remember. I think it's direct and type the number in on the little thing on your left knee. So you should be able to put the number in 57. I think it's direct, but I'm not sure. And you don't necessarily need to have it on your waypoints because you've only got one small group set up. Alternatively, just take a line from where you are to where you're going and then head for the angle, which is a bit easier in the patching. Someone did a big sigh there. Was that someone getting shot or something? Yeah, I heard a big sigh. Sort of, more of a... Oh, for God's sake. I'm slowing down at the moment because I have no idea how close I am. Well, I should be able to look here. I do have no idea. I'm 10 clicks away. But I need to... Oh, this is going to be interesting. As these pylons come, where do these houses come? So I'm just slowing down a little bit because I haven't really had a good look to see what we've got ahead of us. And where are we? 8.8 clicks. Last week I accidentally went in way too close without realising it, thinking that the target was further away than it was. Now, one of the things with the trimming system is it's really, really good, and when you want to get into a hover, you can get into an extremely good hover. And I'll show you that in a minute when it's slowed down. So the weapon delivery system tends towards being in a hovering position, pointing the laser at the target, and then firing. So let's see if I can sneak in this close. We're at 7.9. You can see that down on the Abras. That's based on the current waypoints I've got selected. But I'm just looking ahead to see what sort of cover I could use, what I've got. And I'm trying to keep low. I'm heading directly to the target, so if they've got any SAMs, it's going to be a lot easier for them to see me if I'm moving towards them. But if I can try and keep low, it should be out of their scope. We got a shot fired from something. Have I got a MiG up my ass?
Warning, under attack. Warning, under attack.
No, you switch the APU off, you'll get beeping when you take off if you leave it on. It's my favourite trick. Right, so this will probably do. Now what I'm doing is holding the trimmer in, right? I'm trying to keep the helicopter quite low. So I've got... Yeah, that's fine. Thanks, mate.
Is there a reason you fly so low?
When you say fly solo, in terms of what? Oh, solo as in solo, or solo as in I've got no friends. Oh, solo, yes. Yes, look. So the SAM's here, and I've just come in. I'm heading towards that, which makes it really easy for them to detect me, right? And they're over there somewhere, and they are 7.3 clicks away. So what I was trying to do, right, was use some of the terrain and also some obstacles in the way and keep low so that these guys over here are not able to shoot at me. Does that make sense? So I'm just trying to stay under the radar a little bit. Now, I have got something that will pick. I have got something that will tell me when they're picking at me or shooting at me, but I can't tell whether it's my own team, their team, or anything. So if we look, this is the target area. This is me with 7.3 clicks. Now, earlier I did say that the trimmer is really good.
I only got 40 hours in DCS and spent the last 4 days getting my first photos to work case. I am the definition of a man.
That's fine. Everybody started from somewhere and you probably come to the right place. HOTAS, right? Which HOTAS have you got? Once you get the gist, it's not difficult, but there's a few interesting areas. Obviously, if you're using aircraft which are full fidelity, full switch, you don't need all the buttons because you can just go and point and click the buttons, which helps. Oh, right, yeah. Okay. Yeah, no worries. Have you come from somewhere else? Like, do you fly MSFS? And have you done flight sims before? If anyone else has got any questions, by the way, please join me. You've just got to remember, right, that the way that the control system is, and it does take a little bit of effort initially.
Only played DCS 3 years ago for like 10 hours, but only on keyboard.
Right, okay, so you've actually got you're going to enjoy it so much more. When you look, when you're in...
I played CS in the past.
Okay, when you're in a module, by default, when you go to controls, it'll show you the module you're in, okay? Some modules will have different areas, like the Apache as a pilot. I don't know where that one was from. So basically, I'll have a quick look. I can't see anything going on. Not sure, Stingy. So basically, when you select the controls, it should go straight to the controls that you for the aircraft you're in or the position you're in. So as I was saying, the Apache, for instance, has if you're in the front seat, and also if you're in the pilot seat, okay? And there's some separate controls for if you've got an AI pilot, okay? The other thing with controls that you've probably learned is that this is all the controls except the axis. And as I said before, am I worried about all of these? No, because I can click controls in the cockpit. It will tell you by default keyboard shortcuts, and you can see there's so many controls. If you want to do your axis controls, then you have to go to the axis controls, and then when you move an axis, you'll see it show up. Okay, just 1 minute. The other thing you need to be aware about is with pedals. Very often pedals are reversed. So once you set your pedals, right, where are my pedals? There they are. Once you set your pedals, if you click on them and go to axis tune, you can invert your pedals or your foot brakes if you've got, well, toe brakes if you've got them. Now, it's not always obvious from here, but if you look in your cockpit, you press left and it goes left and right and it goes right. It's a good start. I don't adjust most of the things at all. I don't put dead zones on. I don't put saturation on. But you can make this a curve. You can make it how you want. But if your things are the wrong way round, then you can hit invert and that will fix that problem, okay? If you're not sure of what the controls are that you've got set, just simply go into here, click anywhere in the box. Yeah, some of them are, some of them aren't, right? So, especially with choppers, you have to watch. It's toe brakes are the main thing, where your brakes are on by default if you're not pressing. So if you want to find out what your control is, go onto this grid, click anywhere, and when you press a button, right, it should jump to the switch that you've got set. Okay? You can also export an HTML of your controls, and then you can see what you've got set and make some notes, etc., and pull that text out of there. Okay? You can also, and again this is useful, use modifiers. So in here you got modifiers. Okay? Now in mine I've got one of my buttons as a modifier. Okay? And that's joybot button 15. And that means I can change these controls by pressing my joystick button 15, and that button I will get my controls to do something different. So on your joystick you've probably got a lot of hats, but you could make that one hat do 9 different things if you want, just by using modifiers. If you've got something set up as a modifier switch here, think of it literally like a switch, and when you press it, it's like you've switched on another mode, and that means you can then assign all your controls to something different again. When you set the switch again, press it again, it switches it off, and then all your controls are back to where they were. And that's really useful when you're in certain circumstances. You could have your controls set to, you know, flight and landing, or your controls set to combat, and it doesn't matter how many controls you've got, you can utilise those features, and it works really well. It is quite complex. I'll have to do a video on it at some point. And then if you do find you've got to delete or anything, you can go and grab these files, right, that you've created, and you can import the settings into, say, a new installation of DCS. Do you get my drift? So in this instance, I am flying low because I've got a target really close to me with SAMs. Okay, Stingy's gone even closer. Oh, there's only a little couple of bits. I'm not going to get to shoot any weapons, so I'm not too worried. Right, there we go. So Stingy's shooting at this urinal. Okay, and he'll just shoot that easily. And then he's got that one there he's looking at. See, this is what happens with me because I explain everything. It's not always conducive to me actually fighting. So he's now moving on to the other target, and we'll follow his missile in. And this time I haven't got any supplies, so I'll get told. But it's, the thing is, your settings shouldn't change, right? If you go into, let me find the file for you. Come out of here, go into here. So you know that DCS, and if you're on YouTube you'll see this, obviously not on Twitch. On DCS it saves all your custom stuff, right, and skins and things in DC. Yeah, don't worry. I'm just gonna, no, it's fine, you can be there. There's a big delay on the audio. Let me just find the folder. So you go to DCS, you go to config, you go to input, right, and you will find all the controls that you've changed. So I'm in a shark, so let me explain it and then I'll get the path for you. Your path will be different. So I've got all the controls in this folder, all my joystick in this. Let me send this path over. Right, now this is my path. Right, so on yours it'll be C, users, your name, save games, DCS, config, input, and then there's a folder for each module, okay? And then within there you've got your joystick, you've got your rudder, you've got your different controls, and when you go in you'll see the things there and you can import those folders. So what I used to do is I would copy the whole folder where you've got config and call it something, and if ever you get into trouble you can always pull them back in again. Not copy them in, you have to be really careful. You can't just copy because of the way that Windows sees your controllers. Take it we've got this. One day I'm going to get there in time to actually fight. Right, okay, so let's move on. The reason why the hold here is so good is what it does is it takes a GPS reading, or the Russian equivalent, and then it sets that reading on the helicopter systems, and then the trimmer system will adjust to make sure that the helicopter stays in position. Okay, you can do this as well, and it'll hover like this with the Apache. If you've got the Apache and it's all over the place, you can do this, but that's how it does it. Okay, it also switches on the fourth channel, and the fourth channel is this, which is altitude hold. So it'll stay where it is, okay, and it'll take account of the wind usually, and it'll keep it where it is. If I want to adjust any of the parts of this system, in other words I want to go higher, then I can use this little brake called a collective brake, and if we switch this back on so you can see it, I can pull that brake and very gently start moving the collective, and you'll see the height increasing. Can you see? Which is what I was going to do. And then I can start peeping over trees. And then I'll just back off on that a little bit, let go at that button, and it'll do. There you go. Right, you get the gist. Let's go over to this airbase. I seem to be using fuel. Now I'm going to switch this off. That's my auto hover, and I'll go to remember if I want it off, switch that off as well. And then go over to the base. It's quite a good, it is a really good single player helicopter, this. You're not relying on anyone else, it works, it's quicker than the Apache. The missiles are laser guided, they've got a range of about 7.1 kilometres, but it can do longer. I won't get shot down, sorry mate. I won't get shot down, and there's no VRSs. I know it's disappointing. All my subscribers seem to come and then they just basically wait for me to die, and that's it. And that's their entertainment, so it sticks this morning. Unfortunately, no, I forgot. I remembered last time, I haven't got any this time.
When I'm back on the ground, I'll swap to
So what that means is, because I haven't got supplies, we can't capture the base. So we have it but we need
In
supplies.
7 years, you have disappointed me.
Thank you. Thanks, Platty. Thank you very much. Come again. I get shot down all the time, and sometimes I do the shooting, and sometimes I get shot down. If I was over worried, I wouldn't be streaming, and I would be concentrating on just flying. But it depends. People don't learn anything then, do they? That's the thing. I'm just slowing this thing down. Oops, I didn't really want to do that, but I don't think there's anyone coming to land. Where is it?
S4 Typha said, I think we all want to see what you
The red white lever. Oh, I sometimes eject. Don't worry.
said, I'm only here for the VRS demonstrations.
Do you see what I mean? Let's have a look, see what he's on about. Because there's a Chinook coming, so obviously I don't have anti-air. I can't see it at the moment. Where's it coming from? Oh, sorry. Thought you meant there was one coming to attack us, but I was going to say. I can go and attack it. No. It's bad enough with the accidental shots that people do and kill our own things, as we've mostly all done at some point, without going and doing it. Right, so I'll go and land over there, but I won't be able to refuel or anything. What time is it? 12:19. I've only got 45 minutes. What I might do. I don't know whether I can get supplies from there because we haven't captured it, have we? I probably can't.
S4 Typha said, do you guys have any advice for buying a VR?
I think there's virtually most of the people who are playing on here have VR. First thing is, as long as your machine can support it, because it does take quite a good machine, a decent VR set. I'm not the best person. I did explain about VR before. I tend not to fly in VR myself because I stream and it makes it difficult.
Kev said, quest 3.
Hey, there you go. Hello, Kev. Does that work all right? Does it? Is that what you're using at the moment, Kev? And have they come round to do your
Bloody trying flying said, have a budget in mind.
Yeah.
Don't burn it.
Yeah, and it depends on your PC as well, because you won't necessarily get the best out of it if your PC is not up to driving it. One of the guys you can hear in the background has just gone and bought a new PC, and
S4 Typha said, a friend said that Pimax Crystal Superflat is one of the best options.
it is, as long as you can drive it. Yam, your VR, which one is it? Pimax Crystal. Okay, Crystal Soup, which is a bit more. 50 ppd, and it's running at 90 FPS, is it? Okay, but he's just got a brand spanking new machine with a 5090 in it and top end AMD processor. Do you know what I mean? So, and he can run it as it's meant to be. So you really need to have an understanding of what your computer is and what the limitations
Jeff
are.
said, that's what I'll get. Best bang for your buck. Internet was supposed to be connected yesterday. Now postponed until January 19th.
Yeah, I can't see that happening. January the 19th. Why was it postponed? Because OpenReach have a history of saying it's postponed, and it'll be forever. And they're probably the only people who can dig the road up, so to speak. Just waiting for this guy to get over with supplies. He should be able to take a number of supplies. I need to go and get a last cup of tea going before I finish, because I've then got to go just before 1 to take the other half. Yeah, that's always the problem, isn't it? They won't dig the road up. I'll be back in 2 ticks. Bear with me.
that long.
I hope it's just gone off, otherwise it's stopped working. What are we watching now? Do apologise. I don't think you would have noticed. This must be put. Where's he put enough to? Okay, so we've still got some stuff in there. Suppose that's the next one, and that's bloody miles away, isn't it? Yeah, it's about 50k away, and I've only got about 25 minutes. Anybody want anything particular? Helicopter wise? Otherwise, I'm just thinking that, you know, we can watch them for a bit, but I don't think I can go and pick a pilot up, I suppose. Yeah, I could do that. Oh, I don't know whether I can spawn there. What I'll do is I'll jump out of this. I'll jump into a Huey and see if I can get from here to there quick enough to go and collect a pilot, which is one of the things you do. And when you take the pilots back, then I'm not sure whether you get money or what. No, that's where they're going. They're going down to this one. Okay. I'll go and get this pilot anyway. It's a very quick helicopter to start up, as you'll see. And I'll go to type and then change to the Huey, which is down the bottom. Don't need a loadout.
Currently, Puppets attacking waypoint 62 and that's here.
We'll go in there, let's have a look. And I'm not going to take any guns. No need. Helicopter is always the first helicopter you want to start with. It's absolutely brilliant. It's a great helicopter to learn because it's so simple. If we look here, and all we're going to do is fly from there, and hopefully, are we going to the wrong place? Yeah, no, where's the F-18 pilot? I can't see him now. There he is down there. I've come to the wrong place. I should have gone to Shayrat. Let's try Shayrat. There it is. Go into Huey.
I thought Mel was talking about this.
Sorry, I haven't said anything to anyone yet. Going to that one.
Bloody trying flying said, remember, you said you're not going to crash.
Yeah, of course not. Okay, very easy helicopter to start. And use this to learn. Seriously, you learn how to fly helicopters. Not bothered about a lot of things at this point. We'll get started. We'll switch the AC power to AC phase. DC voltmeter to essential buzz. Put the main Jenny on. Put the battery on, you'll hear a siren. That's low RPM warning. We're going to switch the low RPM warning off. Put the fuel on. Put the hydraulics
could start a prediction.
on. Yeah, Lisa just heard and knew it was the Huey. Force trim on, chip detector forward in release. Okay. Yeah, you could do a prediction, but the problem is there's no gambling on this bot that I use. It's different. Okay, we're going to push this all the way up. Let me put the control axis on for you. All the way up and all the way down. Okay. And then what we're going to do is hold the start button and watch the gas producer.
Are we getting a VRS demonstration now?
No, mate. No, you're not. When it gets to 40 on the gas producer, I'm going to let go. Helicopter, you should hear the engine start.
0.
Okay, as this goes up, we'll see in a minute, the RPM's increasing. So I've let go now at the starter, the rotor's going, alright, which I know because it'll go around about 12 there. You can see the helicopter shaking a bit. This is the RPM, and we've got RPM for the motor, right, or the rotor, sorry, and the engine. And this will stop at 40. So then we need to increase it by putting more fuel into the engine. So I'm going to slowly or smoothly move this up, and you'll see these two needles move. If you're too heavy-handed, it's possible to make the engine RPM outrun the rotor RPM, and the rotor can't keep up, and it will shear off and fly away, especially if you've got the governor set to manual. Okay, so you have to be aware. It'll go all the way up to the red at the top. Keep going, and then once you're on full throttle, it will settle down and set in the green. Okay, so if we look down here, we've got two lights left on, and we've got the IFF and the inverter. The inverter, sorry, IFF is this panel on the right near the co-pilot. So we click this big knob once, that's all we need to do, and we go up here, and we're going to move the inverter down. Okay, and we're going to move the standby down, and this is started. Couple of little things we need to tidy up, and that is, you'll see this light on. This is your master caution, so that will always come on whenever one of these lights come on, and we need to reset it, and we reset it using this little button here. We push it forward and let go, and that's cleared. Okay, if we go the other way, we're going to get lights. I think this module is about $24.99. It's dirt cheap, and it's such good fun, believe me. The last thing we need to do is alignment. This is the electronic compass, and this is the magnetic compass, and you can see this says we're pointing just under, right, 300 degrees. 330 degrees, and this is pointing at north, so they're out. We need to make an adjustment to this one, right, so that we are pointing the same. And as I start to turn the compass round, or this knob, you can see here there's a cross and there's a circle, and for this to be the same as that, you need half a cross and half a circle, which is going to be a smidgen under 3. Okay, it's also possible to get this the same as there and have just over 210 at the top, but if you check, you can see the numbers don't match. So if you do it the other way around, you'll be going in the opposite direction. That's it, we started. Okay, it's as simple as that. Trimmer system works differently on this. I haven't got time to go through ground thingy. I might not even have time to pick this guy up, I don't know. He's not too far away, we'll see. So basically, as soon as you press the button on this, the trimmer button, you'll see the stick, right, is set to trim. It's trimmed now. And if I carry on moving my stick, which I am, nothing. Remember I said you have to relax your stick. When your joystick gets to the middle, you see a jiggle, and now I've got control again. Okay. If you leave the helicopter as it is, it will take off, move forward, roll right, crash. So you have to allow for that. You push the rudder to the left about 30%, 33% across the bottom, or a third, and then you'll need to pull this back and down a little bit, stop it from doing that. If we have a look where the target is here. Right, this is quite short, 20 kilometres, and it's 198. We can set a course by using the course setting knob here, and we set it to 198. So we got 180, 190, and it's going to be round about there, I believe. So 180, 90, 95, round about. So we just need to bring that to the top of the compass, and we're going in the right direction. So now I'm going to take off, give it about 30%. As I lift off, I'm going to pull my stick back and to the left a bit, look, give it a bit more left if I need to, and then I'll get control over the helicopter. Okay, so I'm just going to rotate round, and I'm looking for the marker, which is there. I'm just going to go, I'm not taking supplies, I'm going to pick someone up, just fly through there without catching those lights, and then we'll have a look and see if we can find the pilot. Now there are some controls that you can use to get the pilot to let smoke go. There's only one problem with that. It requires, I believe, oh, I'm on the wrong one here, a right alt key. I don't have a right alt key. Okay, so it's a bit of a bugger. I haven't got my radios on, but I just need to fly in this direction until I get down to the pilot. I might run out of time. Yeah, I will do, definitely. Got to go and get petrol as well. And I'll leave everybody else flying. I'll be jumping off then. And I'll leave the other guys flying. And for those that are in the server, that's absolutely fine. The server always stays up unless it goes down for any specific reason. So if I'm going to basically, I've just trimmed that now, but it doesn't trim your rudder, so I might have to trim it again. There we go. I'm going a little bit quick. I don't want to burn my engine out. It's getting quite warm, and I'm heading down there slightly out. And then if I can get the pilot back, then I think we get points for it. I'm not sure. So there are some tools on the menu where you can get the pilot to pop smoke, etc. But I'm not going to be able to do that. There's quite a lot more to the Huey. The control of it takes a bit of getting used to, and also you can put guns on. You can also have 3 mates sitting in the different seats, and that will work. It works incredibly well when you've got 3-4 people in. So, yeah. Did you call me? I'm going to go low enough to get underneath the... I'm not too far away. CTLD. See where the pilot is. I'm looking 43. I really don't have much time. If anyone's got any questions about the Huey, please ask. But there is a sale, and if you're thinking of helicopters, or if you're helicopter curious, it really is worth getting. It's dirt cheap. It's great fun, and I'm more than happy to explain the stuff and get you going at some point. I wish I'd got a right alt and then I'll be able to get the person smoke popped.
Yeah, I have some problem after a certain amount.
Right, so he's not far away. It's like he's in this silly area, but I'm not sure. I am going quite quick at the moment. Slow down in a minute. And see if I can see this pilot. It's going to be somewhere, I think. Should be just in front of me somewhere over here. As I said, I can't pop a smoke marker. Whether I'll get any messages or not, I don't know. A bit too far. It's a really good mission, this, by the way. There's quite a few different missions that this guy has updated. So the original one was called Foothold, and there's a guy come and updated all the missions because they broke after one of the patches, and this guy's gone and rewritten and added to what was already there, and it's also persistent, so whatever we're doing. Is this the guy down here on my left? Or is that just a bit of a shrub? Hard to tell, isn't it? Bit of a plant. And to be honest, it's a really good mission. So we'll be revisiting some of these other missions as well. See you, Charlie. 46. So the pilot's around here somewhere, as I can't see him physically. If I go and just land down here, then I should be able to ask for smoke, I think. Let's slow this down. Don't need it to be coming down too fast. You just get into a little hover. Once you hit ground effect, this thing becomes floaty. And when it gets floaty, should have full control over it. And you can just slowly lower it down off that floaty bit. And that guy is around somewhere. I'm not exactly sure where he is. Just pointing out. So let's have a look. When you're flying, you need, I think, a right alt. Let's have a look. Oh, what's it under? Is it under CTLD or what? That's all crates. I am, yes. Okay. I'm quite close to him. Oh, there he is. Am I over him? Let's just take off again. How quick is around? Where did I see him? Okay, it's just a little bit further. Is it just a hover and an automatic get in? Yeah, because I haven't, as I said, I haven't got a right alt key to call the menu up, which is a pain in the ass. Yeah, you know me and my manky keyboard. He's on a bit of a hill. You can see the pilot. Right, if you're going to pull up on a hill, you need to make sure that your nose is pointing forward, right? That is sitting there, right? Let me get down. And then we can sort of try and slide in. You want your nose pointing up the hill. Jesus, that man. I'm not going to be able to do anything with him, by the way. Because I just don't have enough time, unfortunately.
Said, if I was the downed pilot, I'd be running away by now.
I don't know why. This looks alright to me. Let's get him nice and close without taking his head off with a blade. I should be able to just stop it. Back slam. Move forward a little bit more. If he's got any carrots, lead dice in, he should just let me know. Come on. In between the bush and the thing, there you go, mate. Get me.
Peter trying Thrive said he doesn't seem bothered.
He do-
Best to leave him.
Right, okay. So there's the pilot. As I said, I haven't got anything. So let's go and see if I can actually get him in. Logistics. Caesar. Pick up pilot. Easy peasy. Okay. The trouble is I haven't got time. It's 12:52. So that's the gist. I'm not going to be able to take him back, and got a MiG coming over me as well. So basically I've got to jump off, guys. Thank you very much for watching today. Hopefully some of you have had some questions answered and people have learned something. I think I might leave this on.
Kev said, catch you later.
Totally.
07.
See you, Kev. But what a pain in the ass regarding your internet, but to be expected. Anyway, those on YouTube, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you again next week.